It's a Godwinson Live News Alert. We're going nuclear. No half measures. PPP, my old apprentice. He's put a half-hour takedown there. Now, full disclosure, I actually haven't seen it. But a great many have sent screen caps and Twitter DMs and carrier pigeon signals. So I am fully conversant with what's inside it, but I just haven't seen it yet because it's half an hour long. But I thought the best way of doing it, the most Kino Dogme 2007 way of doing it, was to watch it live with all of you at home as somewhat of a pre-show to the Kino Cathedral. What is it called now? I forget. But we're going to challenge every accusation inside it. I'm going to reveal a lot of my personal deets. I no longer give a shit, quite frankly. And we'll just have a wild ride, folks. I'll take you back to 2007, where this was how it was done. A non-stop cycle of reply videos. Now, back in the day, they used to be under the very video themselves. Alas, we can only have so much. The video response era is long since gone. It lives with me and PPP. So, I'm ready. Full disclosure, I know he's on a beach.
It's necessary
and he's
that
got
you get the losers
this.
out of your life
Oh.
if you want to live your dream.
Oh, that's me again.
So, all this year, Adam's been talking about how he's so cold. I'm gonna
Is that double audio?
And shout.
No, he's just very low. He's just very low, folks. He's drowning himself out with the sound of crashing waves. So let's go from the beginning. Full disclosure.
My mother used to say, birds of a feather flock together. If you run around with losers, you will end up a loser. It's necessary that you get the losers out of your life if you want to live your dream.
So, all this year.
So as you can see, my laptop's having a frenzy.
I'm gonna shiver and shout. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. Winter.
Okay, so winter is coming. He's gonna shake, shiver, and shovel, folks. He's on a beach. There's some theatre and showmanship behind this one. It's taken a good year, nearly 2 years. Nearly 2 years, folks. Nearly 10 years of this war of attrition between PPP and Godwinson. But he's finally firing back, I assume. This one's called The Burial of Me. And in brackets, it's Godwinson. So he's on a beach. There's crashing waves. I can barely hear him, unfortunately. But that's not my fault or my equipment's fault. That's purely the sound of the beach and the crashing waves drowning him out. So let's go. You'll have to bear with me. So I don't have a phone case to stabilize. So I've got this PS5 controller propping up the phone when I set it down. So let's go.
But, winter is here. Winter is here, And, I just got one question for Godwinson, for Adam, for Persip, and Squire, and Brian. I just got one question, bitches. Called to you.
Now, I don't know how to do a poll on the phone, but we'll do it the old school way. 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1. Do we in the sake of brevity, or disregarding brevity, do we not pause every tantalizing frame of this and comb over and analyze in the old style of Godwinson? So yes, if you want me to do that. 2, if you want me to sail through this 30-minute video and leave behind a great wellspring. A great wellspring. I'll let a few of you chime in. So go ahead. Lots of ones. A great many ones.
Birds of a feather flock together. If you run around with losers.
Okay. Sorry, I mean, I've got to show you this, right? I'm not a technical person. This is doing this now. It's gone back to the start of the video. So,
You will end up
by the way,
it's
the
necessary
ones
that
win.
you get the
We're doing the
losers
whole
out of
thing
your
in
life if
intrinsic
you want to live
detail,
your dream.
I'm afraid.
So, all this year, Adam's been talking about how to be so cold. I'm gonna shake, and I'm gonna shiver and shout. Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
So, analysis. Winter is coming. He was going to shake, shiver, and shovel all winter. He's found himself upon a beach to disprove all the A-logs wrong. Summer is here. And he's not shaking or shivering or shovering anymore. So he's on a beach, right? These are the crashing waves beneath his hooves.
Winter is coming, you know. But, you know, winter is here. Winter is here, you know. And, I just got one question for Godwinson, for Adam, for Persip, and Squire, and Brian. I just got one question, bitches. Called to you!
So he's very, very incredibly sunburned. Maybe it's because he hasn't seen sun in a long time. He decided to go out without any sun cream on. Maybe it's been a long time since the guy had any sunlight. So he's gone headfirst into it. This is actually the first image we've got of him in like 4K up close for a long, long time. So we can actually see what a lifestyle of Andy Warski does to a man. Hairline just completely gone. Like, worse than mine at this point. Just completely gone. No hairline. Hairless. Quite literally hairless. The teeth are very fucked. This tooth here, I'm not a dentist. Hang on, this tooth here, I'm not a dentist. I'm not a dentist. Full disclosure, I ain't no dentist. But that tooth right there, looks pretty fucked to me, folks. That looks like a dead tooth. That tooth looks like it's done its service. It's chomped its way through 1,000, if not a great many thousand Big Macs, McDoubles, whatever nonsense he eats, Wendy's Baconators. I mean, I can't even count these chins. There's that many of them. And notice the width of the poor guy. Massive. I imagine the beachgoers genuinely thought the whales were coming out of the sea. They could fucking walk now. I imagine the people trying to enjoy their holiday on that beach were running for their fucking lives as this guy was stomping around. Red as fuck. Huge as fuck. Dead-toothed. Looking literally like I mean, yeah, okay, we'll address these later. But literally looking like Margin Boo. Margin Boo on holiday. So as you can see here, he's braided his hair. He's braided his hair. There's been lots of accusations of late of this guy being a big fat homo, quite frankly. And I don't know what says big fat homo more than this very screen cap. But, I mean, is that something a straight man would do? That's white, by the way. That's white as fuck. To the point where you've spent all year shivering in a frozen cabin. You've gone out into 2-3 minutes of sunlight. You're red as a fucking giant lobster there. And you've braided your own hair. The straw hat, by the way, I don't think any of you have truly noticed what that straw hat is doing. That straw hat is truly holding its fucking own right there. That straw hat is doing what a great many of us now want to do to PPP. That straw hat really is fucking holding the line. As you can see, it's really fucking digging in. It's garroting the poor guy. Fuck. Completely compressing his airways. And he's not wearing the hat. He's not wearing the hat because his head's too fucking big, folks. Because it's fat now. Just so stupidly fat that even the largest straw hat this guy could buy from the beach hut seller that hadn't ran away in fear, even that straw hat won't fit his head. So I imagine throughout this video, he ain't going to be wearing this hat. And it's going to be trying to do the world a favor by compressing his airways. So let's go. Let's power through.
Do I look cold to you bitches? Oh, yeah. This is 5-star days for BPL here. Yeah, buddy. Do I look like I'm shaking?
Yes. Yes. You look shook, bro. You look shook, bro. Like, never in my wildest dreams, folks, when I'm sat there thinking of ways to mentally break PPP, when I'm sat there thinking of ways to psychologically break PPP, when I not only stole the guy's writers, took the whole premise of his money-making show from him, and I did so because I wanted to. Not only did I lose the way out of pure spite to present myself as a complete opposition to this fat monster, not only did I side up with all of this guy's enemies and actually show them to be more entertaining than this ungodly monster is now, but I also, folks, threw them all away. Full disclosure. PPP's writers have served their purpose. They have served their purpose. And full disclosure, there's been no contact for 2-3 weeks, and it's staying that way. They can belong in the bin with PPP. If you ain't gonna give me any more of what I need to further psychologically break my old apprentice, you ain't needed. Esoteric PPPism was right. He was right. All you had to do was give me the DMs. All you had to do was give me the calls that you'd recorded. All you had to do was give me more, and you'd have kept me around. But you get nothing. For real though, what's the point? What's the point? These are always best when we fly solo. And for real, and as you will see, my success as the king of the Kino Dogme 2007 comes from one man and one man alone. Me. I don't need PPP's literal gay writing team to write my scripts for me. I just don't. And I ain't gonna cry when the money goes because a homosexual called Perspicacity walked away and said enough is enough. But in reality, would definitely come back the moment PPP bends the knee. So there are no more writers. There have been no writers. There will continue to be no writers. The only writers we'll take aboard are PPP's old friends that we haven't used as a tool to damage him psychologically with. So, Surfer, it's pretty tragic when you can only list one other friend outside of Brian, Percy, the Squire. It's done, I'm afraid. Asa was a wild ride to hang with. Asa was a pretty good, for me, that was childhood hero status, working alongside a literal idol of mine. But everything has a sell-by date. And maybe something should belong in 2007. The king of the Kino dogme only needs one crown, and he don't share it, I'm afraid. So let's get back to this. Never in my wildest dreams could I have thought I could have psychologically broken PPP enough to walk, to walk literally like Margin Boo on a beach, sunburnt to fuck, showing himself in his 4K glory with all his dead teeth, with braids in his hair, literally looking like a tranny. It's unfortunate, but it's true. It's really fucked. Let's power through.
5-star days, baby. Let's go! Woo! You see, Adam, I may not be shaking or shivering like you wanted, but I'm shoveling for you, buddy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, those of you that wanted me not to cover this, because it was like a cell phone for PPP. Those of you out there that still are diehards for the old PPP Winston team up, that we're going to get back together on the Golden Guns, and all will be well in the world, and I'll sing Kumbaya with Warski. If you want that, you'll be robbed of what's coming. The guy has decided to dig my grave. Now, this is the shallowest of graves, and I imagine it took him hours. This is nigh on 2 inches, the same size as his own pee-pee. 2 inches deep. And you can see his pig hoof, that's sunburned, by the way, holding a toy children's shovel. People are asking, how do you know PPP's penis is 2 inches? Well, if you're completely new here, we've also seen his anus as well, folks, because he splayed it all live back in the day. I think 2 inches is generous also, unfortunately. So he's digging my grave with a toy children's shovel that I imagine he's stolen from a terrified child.
I'm burying you, buddy. I'm digging you the grave that you made for yourself there, Adam.
You're on the beach. You're having a really great fucking time, by the way. You've probably saved up for a bit to go on holiday. You've got some leave from work. You're going to this sunny paradise. You've just got your towel. You've just put your sun cream on. You're about to lie back and just take it all in. Maybe watch the boats go by on the sea. Soak in some of those rays. Maybe You're just watching your family do all that, and you're taking pride in being a father who can provide and care for his family. And then, as if by some horrific nightmare brought to life, you hear a boom, boom, boom. The ground starts to shake. You see the sand start to part. You're like, what the fuck is this an earthquake? You turn to the side. You see a nude PPP. All 500 pounds of the guy. You don't even recognize it as human because it's that startlingly, blisteringly red. You see the sweat dripping from him. But you're looking and he hasn't come out of the sea. This ain't a rare breed of red whale, no. This is a human with braids in his hair and a straw hat choking his throat. You see him over to a large expanse of sand that a great many people have instantly cleared from the moment this guy has entered their proximity. They've ran, they've got in their cars, they ain't coming back. You see this guy lay out his stall at this big, open expanse of sand, and you're wondering, what the fuck's this guy doing? What's he up to? You see he takes out a green children's sand shovel thing, spade. And you think, what's he going to do with that? Is he going to kill someone? Is he going to eat it? Is he going to shove it up his ass? And then you watch the guy, and you have a long time, you have more time, all the time in the world to watch the guy dig a hole not 2 inches deep. And you spend about, I imagine this took 12 hours. With lots of rest breaks, with lots of sitting down, with lots of, am I having a heart attacks in the blazing sun? And you wonder, what the fuck is this guy up to? And then, once he's finished his work, he starts screaming into his phone camera and doing this.
Shoving it out for you. I'm gonna have to call upon the Undertaker, Adam.
Now, I can't lie, this is Kino, and he knows. Probably because he is my apprentice after all. This guy knows how to get a appreciative nod from his old master. What you see here, and I've not even seen this by the way, what you see here is a literal tribute to War Corps 666, down to the Undertaker music, down to the blue filter, down to what I imagine is going to be some showmanship. I hope to God it's some showmanship. Because what led this video was bizarre by all standards. But here he is, with what I imagine, if a normal person was wearing that hat and didn't have a massive, fat, snakish head, would bury them. Would be like wearing a tent over their head or something. Even cracking the beer like old Dave Nordall. This is pretty good. This is pretty good so far. All he's missing is the leather trench coat.
There are few things in life that we love as much as our beloved pets. The family dog is man's best friend. It's an institution in and of itself. But there comes a day when the best thing for that dog...
I mean, he's even doing the Southern preacher voice exorcisms that we used to do to Nick Fuentes, Boogie, and Toad McJudas. This genuinely does bring some sort of hope, doesn't it? Is this the start of that long walk back that we hoped our old friend would take? Is this the start of that long road back? I want to say yes, but a great many are saying X to doubt.
It's diseased of rabies when its brain is decayed and it's rotten and it's putrefied. When that dog is suffering and in its anguish, to put that dog down.
The guy's even wearing what I think it's the top of Donkey Kong's head. Donkey Kong, by the way, his favorite video game character of all time. And PPP is the one person in the entire world that appreciates Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. The one person in the entire world that holds that up is the absolute gem of gaming. And purely does so for a song he likes at the second level. So, there's stuff here that harkens over the enemy lines that we've drawn up of late. That says, Master, I still got it. This is akin to Kenobi, lightsabering away a bit of Darth's mask and seeing a glimpse of his old apprentice through the face mask. Now, whilst the face might be fucking scarred, blackened by flame and lava or whatever the fuck happened to Anakin, this is that moment right here, happening in the old school Kino Dogma 2007 format. Right here. This hat is but a Darth Vader mask, and just here, without any features visible, is the one glimpse of my old apprentice. As you can see, it's a very seductive screenshot. Don't know what he's doing there in that. Don't know what he's doing there in that still frame. Receiving oral from Warski, perhaps. Maybe shoving that Uber Eats delivery up his ass. Maybe he's just received a DM from Snacks or the Irish tranny. Whatever it is, something's got him really excited here. He's the beast.
And Godwinson, for you, brother, that day of reckoning has come. What a pathetic entity you have become. You are a milk-fed gimp, boy.
Okay, that's enough. You're gonna say I'm a milk-fed gimp. The highest dishonor you can fire at another man in this sector. You're saying I'm literally V, Gator, a water-carrying servant to another master. After all you've done, my old friend, you have the gall to come at me with the M slur. The fucking M slur, bro. Like, can we not? Can we not? You literally fetch and carry water for Andy Warski. No one in the world is that more cognitively fucked. Not even Kylus gave up. Even Geek Thulu gave up. Even Anal Vape gave up. But you, Ashton, have truly become the milk-fed gimp of Andy Warski. And we say that without reservation. We say that without any qualifications to that title there, bro. You are fetching and carrying water for Andy Warski. You are his milk-fed gimp. I'm sorry, but it's true. So don't project the M slur onto me, bro. Don't come at me with the M slur, bro. But apparently I've become Ethan Ralph as well. Let's hear him go.
Milk-fed gimp, boy. You've become Ethan Ralph's Janny. Sweeping it for the gunt.
I'm sweeping it for the gunt? Bro, who was on bended knee with Ralph's cock in his mouth, begging him in hours of calls to go to Ralphomania to make amends, to have a non-aggression pact. Who not 2 months ago, on their own Kino Cathedral solo channel, was saying it'd be pretty fun to team up with Ralph, that the sector's gotten pretty boring of late. Who was listening, by the way, to all of PPP's plans that he was saying in his solo shows? And literally stealing them and doing them. Me. And I even took his writing team to do it. It was me, PPP. I am the author of that pain. And everything you've seen has just been those ideas executed by your old master. That's the reality of things. Ethan Ralph's Janny. So I'm Gator now. I'm going to anime conventions dressed as Jim, am I? Gator literally points at murals of underage children and calls them his waifu. Gator's sister literally draws Shotokan on commission with the Brian Holloman family crest on it. But maybe we're all Gator now. Maybe anyone that's got any criticism is just Gator now. That's the Gator line of defense, wasn't it? To project all of your inadequacies and all of your criticisms onto someone else. Milk-fed gimp. That's rich, Ashton. For real.
Keeping it for Fuentes. You're licking the taste of the gun crease and you like the grease, boy. I have no choice but to come to put you away, Adam. To put you where you belong in the burial ground with the fedoras of the age from which you came, boy.
You're gonna say my age was the fedora age, bro? I literally cut my teeth ragging on Fedora Bros. But you're gonna lump me in that dumpster fire. Okay. The disingenuous line of attack already is apparent. Unlike you, bro, I ain't tipping my fedora to the Ashton Birdies of the world, to the Brittany Ventis of the world when they come on the Kino Casino. I ain't tipping my fedora in Discord DMs to whatever tranny or leather-clawed monster comes my way. Because I learned those lessons from the past. I watched those around me. The Fedora Bros of old, back in 2009, fall at that wayside. And I swore to myself, no, that's not for me. I ain't tipping my fedora, milady. But he's going to cast me into that dumpster fire. Let's see where this goes.
Hey, I hate to do it, but you're lower than Gator now.
Lower than Gator now. Lower than V.
2023, and even they're not sweeping it like you. You sit there in your Discord 6 hours a day, jerking off Brian Dunn. Jerking off
Ashton. Where do we go with this? So, I ain't ever had time to 6 hours a day sit in the call with Blackface Kermit, Perspicacity, Squire, and the other guys that comprise the writer's room. To do that 6 hours a day, every day, is for literally the unemployed. And you know what? The only person that did that every day was Ashton Joel Parks. Because he ain't got nothing going on. He got no ties, no responsibilities, not a job, or a woman to keep, or anything, really. So he had lots of time in those Discord calls to hang out with people who he considered friends. And by God, did the guy give them his whole life story and every sub-story that was there that week. A lot of the time, there was a mutual friendship at play, from what I could understand. They'd give each other money if they'd fallen on hard times. They'd give each other emotional support if they'd fallen on hard times. They'd watch shit together if they'd fallen on hard times, to distract themselves from the realities of life. You could say, from an outsider's perspective, as mine was, quite frankly, once every 6 months you pop on for a couple of days with the guys, get drained and be like, I'm done. I don't want any more of this, Ashton. I ain't involved in your Kino casino. I ain't putting together your show. And I'm not going to be used to further enhance your obesity and Warski's code habit. That's the reality of things. 6 hours a day was Ashton's way of being. Unfortunately, it was probably longer than 6 hours a day. God knows what's on Persip's DM archive, in Squire's recordings. God knows what's on them. But I imagine, and it won't take much imagining, that there's a great, great wealth of content there. Full disclosure, we've watched streams with those guys, me and PPP. When I stole his writer's room, I was there for a few weeks, on and off. But it's hard to keep up with the constant barrage of Brian and the other ne'er-do-wells that frequent that writer's room. And ultimately, as Ashton well knows, the only content can truly come from one's own self. The only true showmanship can come from within and doesn't come from briefings with Persip before a Kino casino when you're about to go live with Andy Warski. They're interchangeable, alas. Begging them with tears in your eyes to write your show or else you will be penniless and shivering in that cabin again. Those words never left my mouth, Ashton, but they left yours a great many times. And those tears, those tears were fucking recorded, bro. In both text and audio form. So, that's kind of fucked, isn't it? So here we are. Yeah, the writer's room, fuck them, there's a match on there now. It's better, if we're to truly A-log PPP, it's better to cast away those shackles and begin a new era, a new age. It's the CCU incoming, but we better power through this. This has been Kino so far, by the way. This has been pretty good.
Running gay ops and flagging, boy. And it just won't do. Godwinson turned out to be 4 things. He's a coward. He's a traitor.
This is a tribute to Coach Red
He's a
Pill,
trust
more
fund
fags.
baby. And he's a piece of shit. And Godwinson, you will rest in peace.
That thumb did a lot of overtime as it was making its way around PPP's neck there. That poor thumb probably thought the journey was over about halfway through. Alas, that thumb ain't been around his neck for a long, long time. So there we go. We've got a tribute here to the Kino Dogme. Tribute laid to the temple of the Kino Dogme. We're in another video here, and he's doing it with braids in his hair, which is pretty fucked, I have to say. So he didn't take them off once he'd finished his beach shoot. Instead, he's kept them on. And I imagine he's got braids now for life or some shit to accompany his transition. So he used coaches. Godwinson is 4 things. Sorry. Andy Worski is 4 things. Yeah! Andy Worski is a faggot. Andy Worski is a liar. Andy Worski is a coward. And Andy Worski is a piece of shit. Yeah! Because, you see, so that's what he was referencing there. True Kino dogma from Coach Red Pill. Rest in peace, brother. I heard they found your head across the Ukrainian border here. Maybe they can join it with the body that was ditched in the shallow grave. Yeah!
Oh, it's a sweet, too sweet victory.
It's a sweet victory. Now, does this look like the face of a victor to you? Or does this look like the face of a victor to you? It's a sweet victory. It's the thrill of one more kill. The last one to fall will never sacrifice their will. People are remarking that there's genuine pain in Ashton's face as he contemplates attempting to swing at the king, attempting to wield the sword against his old master, his old friend. Can I do this to Adam? Have I left all my morals and humanity behind? Am I just a fat lesbian who's completely tuned out now? This is his Hamlet moment, folks. He's staring at the skull of, he's staring at that skull, saying to be or not to be. He's wondering, can I do it? And the face, he knows he can't. He knows he's gonna fuck it up. He knows he's gonna swing at the king and miss. And as he sits there, stands a strong word. As he sits there, the skull of Yorick in his pig hoof, he wonders, can I do it? And ultimately he wonders, what's it all for? What's it all been for? It's a sweet, sweet, sweet victory. Yeah.
Oh, the world closing in. It looked close there for a while, folks.
I'm having a lot of fun with this one. Now, I hadn't seen jiggle physics that good, where you could literally see the breast wibble and wobble with the nipple protruding in various different directions. I hadn't seen jiggle physics that good since Dead or Alive 5. Dead or Alive 5? I hadn't seen jiggle physics that good since then. That was true poetry in motion, wasn't it? Witness this again, as he shows us his HRT boobs. Little did Donkey Kong know that one day his fists would be just over a 500 pounds literal woman's breasts, bitch tits, wibbling and waving in the background. As he, with braids in his hair like a tranny, thinks he's got enough courage, thinks he's got enough will to swing at the king. Let's see what he has to say.
It looked close there for a while, folks. It looked like Godwinson might have us. It was a 7-month campaign of bitter homosexuality, of a jilted lover. He flagged down the casino.
Okay, let's address that. How many names were tossed around when PPP's friend's channel got taken down? A channel he was literally squatting in, like he did Surfer's apartment. Daka was the third man who ran the channel for Warski and Ashton to host the Kino casino. When it got flagged down, through literally their own idiocy, they literally told you at the top of that show that got the channel flagged down that that show is going to get the channel deleted. That's literally what they said within the first 3 minutes of their show. This show is going to get the channel deleted. That's what they said. But the names that they cast around were Cog, Nick Fuentes, Ethan Ralph, Pantsu, Stardust, Geek Thulu, Zoom, Beardson, Dalton Codfilter, whoever the fuck that guy is, Kai Clips, Milo Yiannopoulos, Kanye West, the Vax Police, Every Day is Saturday, that's the buffet guy, by the way, Ace Salieri, Nick Risotto, Nick Risotto's wife, Josh from the Kiwi Farms, Jim, Paulie Frog 64, and then me. Then they finally decided on me, after accusing that long litany of scumbags. But they thought it best to put their chips on Godwinson to effect a win. Okay. I'm happy to take the credit. A great many of those on that list actually were happy to take the credit. To take a pillow and smother that show like how little Andy was smothered in the cradle by Andy Warski, his own father. A great many people, yeah, some people are saying they accused Tim Pool as well. They accused Tim Pool. they accused everyone and not themselves, because they never do. Look inwards and reflect. But they accused everyone. They landed on me. I'm happy to take the credit. Half of that list is happy to take the credit, and the other half don't even know who the fuck you are. But yeah, okay. But you know who has a proven history of flagging? Who took a great many channels down? Andy Warski. Andy Warski knows how to flag a channel down. He's got experience. That's been documented. What's that? What's that I'm hearing people say? I can hear a sort of voice in the darkness. It's saying the words, say no to Gino. Say no to Gino. And the other guys. that at one point in time were flagged down by Andy Warski. So that Andy Warski loses a channel? I ain't gonna fucking die on that hill, brother. For a great many people, it was a long time coming. Karmic justice. Poetry. It fucking rhymes. The height of the guy's success. For a long, long time. The Kino Casino raking in 30, 50,000 views. 3,000 live viewers a night. And it got struck down. Just like Warski used to strike down anyone that was coming up that was criticizing him. So I ain't gonna cry over that one. And you know what? Whoever did it, whoever did it, whoever did it, whoever did it, no great loss, by the way. No great loss. But I ain't gonna clutch my pearls. And because I didn't come out and say, oh, what a great crime that the Kino Casino got flagged down through their own idiocy. By the way, it was themselves that got it taken down. And there must have been clearly something fucked where probably a guy from YouTube had to go into the channel and manually look at it after all of the flags that they pissed off all of the groypers and everyone else that they'd gone at. Even that buffet guy's audience is quite large. Someone from YouTube very clearly had to manually watch portions of the Kino Casino to judge whether all of these flags warranted the channel to be taken down. I know that because they obviously have appealed the strike. They obviously have wanted the channel to come back a great many times over the past 10 or so days since it's been gone. That it hasn't been reinstated tells me that YouTube have finally said no. So it's their own selves that got it flagged down, folks. Honestly, you're Susan. You get a flag from Ethan Ralph. That just goes in the bin. You get a flag from Nick Fuentes. That just goes in the bin. You get a flag from Tim Pool. That just goes in the bin. These guys that have already been delisted and aren't allowed to come back to YouTube, they don't suddenly have the power to take down channels. But they decided to settle on me because I didn't come out and publicly clutch my pearls and go, oh my God, what a great crime. That a guy with a history of flagging, a very fucking long arm of documented flagging, by the way, about as long as Jarbo's, if not longer at this point, that his channel and show got taken down. Oh, cry me a river. But because I didn't do that, because I didn't sit there with faux indignation, pretend that it wasn't their own idiocy, and light a candle for the Kino Casino, they're going to pin the blame on me. Well, you know what? I'm happy to take it. I'm happy to take it. I actually see no shame in the act of that channel going down. No shame at all. I'd wear it as a Medal of Honor if I was responsible, trust me. But here we are. Shall we hear him go?
He did everything he could. He leaked the DMs. He had the writer's room come in to sweep it all up for him. But it was our victory still. And it's all because he's a retard. Yeah.
Who looks like the bigger retard? The guy who's 500 pounds with braids in his hair, who can't string a sentence together without falling so incredibly out of breath. And let's not forget the man who literally has gone into business, into a financial entanglement with Andy Warski. A man with less IQ than a cup of water.
And who's last to fall? I haven't heard no bell, Adam. I haven't heard no bell, boy.
Bro, that bell has rang. They're dragging your corpse from the ring. They're attempting to put you in the nearest dumpster. They're gonna have to cut you up, buddy, I'm afraid. That bell has long since rang. And I'm afraid, PPP, that you have very well and truly heard that bell. I'm afraid that bell was music to those ears of yours. But he ain't heard no bell, folks. He ain't heard no bell. The face betrays it, alas.
Take so long. Oh, you thought the Kino Casino was done, baby?
It is done. It is over. You know, it's done. I didn't think it was over. I knew it was over, folks. I knew.
He thought our engagement just came from the platform.
No, the engagement came from the fake bots that you fired up.
But 27,000 views in 1 week after being banned. 28,000 actually. Shows otherwise, doesn't it, Adam? Isn't that, what, 5 times? 6 times what you get?
That's right. Sometimes you gotta take those licks. You gotta be like, okay, Godwinson don't draw those numbers. Godwinson don't have it in him to fire up those bots and get an audience of fake viewers to pump up, to fake it till I make it. No, that ain't me, I'm afraid. Godwinson is just doing it for fun. He's just doing it to a niche audience of 2007 diehards that want to see a bit of entertainment, a bit of showmanship on the internet. Godwinson would do this if there was only 26 viewers. Just like he used to back in the day with Razmaz, Stone Mexican Guy, and the other diehards that have been around for 10 years. I've never sought an audience. Not really. The channels always go. The content always goes. But what gives me solace, what genuinely does make me feel a bit of warmth, is when I see a video of mine from like 7 years ago being re-uploaded and people in the comments going, hey, not seen this one before, it's pretty good. There's a legacy of stuff there that people can, there's a record that people can go into and watch and go, ha, you know, maybe that's what it's all for, the legacy. What I noticed when the Kino Casino went down, no legacy. No one uploading anything that wasn't searing clips of them looking like retards. What I heard was the deafening silence of people not giving a fuck. Oh, you remember that Kino Casino? Oh, no, I don't actually. Remember that great Kino? Oh, no, I don't actually. No one cares to give a fuck. Not even the diehards that watch me care to give a fuck. It's not about the numbers. It's never been about the numbers. It's about the showmanship. There will be people who watch this in 10 years' time, this very stream, and they'll be entertained. They'll remember, do you know that one where he went over him on the beach? And PPP, before his heart attack, the week later, before he died, Remember that one where Godwinson brutally took down PPP and analysed that failed attempt at destroying him? They'd be like, yeah, that was a pretty good one. There'll be students of mine in 10 years' time, PPP, that will want to become the king of the Kino Dogma 2007. That will want that crown. They'll base themselves on me and not you. They'll see you just as a sellout. You'll be remembered as Geek Thulu and Anal Vape. You'll be remembered as Beneath Kyler. There ain't gonna be anyone wistfully with tears in their eyes going, they were some good videos, bro. Because those memories have already been sullied by those that thought you did good shows alongside me. The Chaggot streams that I helped you with. All of the good content. All solid memories, I'm afraid. And they'll just remember you for this. Being a braided troon.
This is all your pain, along with no one to blame but Persephone. Or shall be tamed. Sweet, sweet, sweet victory. Or shall be tamed.
Like, it's genuinely hurting the guy to move. I've seen fat. I've seen genuinely obese. I've seen The Whale, folks. Go and watch it. It's out in cinemas right now. But I ain't seen fat hurt this much. I ain't seen slight wiggles of your arms to hurt this much.
Sweet, sweet, sweet victory. Yeah. Ralph's Twitter's there now. His backup is too.
So this guy's gonna sit there, right? Clutch his pearls that his channel got taken down through his own idiocy, right? Why didn't anyone come to my honour? Why didn't Godwinson come to defend us? The Kino Casino, it got flagged down. Ah. And here he is literally celebrating Ethan Ralph's deplatforming. Just because it's Ethan Ralph, it don't make it okay, or does it? Are all of your sins absolved because another man does them? Is that how it works? Maybe it is. Maybe if you just point to someone and say, they have all my sins, look over there, then it's all okay.
Sweet, sweet Ralph's in 70 grand of debt. Pants is gone.
Ralph's in 70 grand of debt? Bro, Surfer has been showing all of the letters that you've been receiving, that you still scummily are sending to Surfer's address, of all the debtors trying to chase up your debts. How many thousands of pounds, or dollars, are you in the hole, Ashton? Those gambling debts that you scummily won't inform that you've changed the address. You're still giving them Surfer's address. That's scummy as fuck. That genuinely is fucked. The guy, if you've not seen his streams, he's got like piles of letters at his feet. All gambling debts that are still being sent to Surfer's apartment. And they all read, Ashton Joel Parks. Ashton Joel Parks, this is your final reminder. What a fucking scumbag. I genuinely hope that the debtors are watching. I genuinely hope that the debtors watch every fucking show of the Kino Casino and are attempting to triangulate where the fuck this guy is. Look for the nearest beach. No, it's not a whale. It's actually PPP. It's not a washed up mammal. It's actually a human being. I genuinely, I hope that PPP's debtors, at least a few of them, can come together, form like a Zodiac. Have you seen Zodiac? Like a Zodiac membership circle where they attempt to find where he is and bring this man to fucking justice. Get their money. Throw them in debtor's jail. PPP. Don't spend it if you ain't got it, bro. Don't spend it if you ain't got it, bro. Don't spend it if you ain't got it, bro.
Good to win.
He's dripping with sweat. A 30-second sweet victory intro is enough to make that red shirt of his just completely sodden with sweat. Just completely soaked through. 30 seconds of movement. Now, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, I think he could last 5 minutes of movement without being drenched in sweat. And even Brendan Fraser in The Whale, even that guy, with all of that fucking shit going on, when he's folding together the 5 pizzas and he's crying, when he's looking at the delivery guy who's been delivering the pizzas for like 7 years, he's looking at him on the porch and there's that sort of knowing glance between the two. When he thinks he's gone out to get the pizzas as he always used to, and he doesn't realise that the guy's still there and they have that knowing glance. Even Brendan Fraser's The Whale doesn't have this much shamelessness, this much shame in his own person. Even Brendan Fraser's The Whale has more self-esteem, quite frankly.
It feels good to win, ladies and gentlemen. It feels good to win. Oh, how sad it must be to be in the gun guard camp right now. To be the last ones holding the broom. The broomstick is...
To be the last ones holding the broom. This is what a winner looks like. Literally sounding like Darth Vader. Can't breathe. Can't string a sentence together.
Broken, Adam. The broomstick is broken, Persip and Squire and Brian. You're gonna have to clean this dump up with your tongues, I'm afraid. I'm afraid it's a big fucking disaster for the gun guard camp. But listen.
Now the poor guy, he never had much when it came to editing. I could smoke the guy out with any shittily edited video I made on my mobile phone, the very mobile phone I'm holding right now in my hands, folks. The guy never had much when it came to editing. But what he could do, if he was being sensible, is literally record his dance and then edit out this panting. Maybe take a day to recover from the dance and then scorch earth me. Instead, we're being provided with sound effects throughout this takedown. It's unfortunate, but it's true to form. Darth Vader you have become. Rise, Darth. Strike down the Jedi. Kill the younglings. Go for it. Fulfill your destiny.
They tried and failed to take us out. 7 months of jilted lover crying. Well, PPP made money without me.
Have you noticed, folks, how many jilted lovers there are of PPP? These are people who were his friends that he's decided to call jilted lovers. Say that they're all crying and they're all jealous of him. We'll do a list again. Surfer. Ghoul. Ear juice. Hef. From Hejaz. T-clips. That was it. The whole Guys Network. But also Brian Dunn, Persip, Squire, Blackface Kermit, Cliff Wallace, Godwin Spick, Stone Mexican guy, Razmaz. Everyone's a jilted lover that's jealous of PPP. They are jealous of him wanting to make money online. I say this, no word of a lie. I am not jealous of PPP. I don't think many people are, quite frankly. It's hard to be jealous of a £500 troon. It's hard to be jealous of that £500 troon making money when you know that every cent he's making actually isn't his. Every cent he's making doesn't even cover half of the debt that the poor guy's in. It's hard to be jealous of that. Maybe he's saving some. Look at him. I think he's saving it all in his belly, unfortunately. But we're all jealous. We're all jealous of this. We're all jealous of this. Like he's... every freeze of this is just gold. But you're jealous. This is a winner. He's the beast.
Well, Persip only got paid $200 for all of his hard work clipping in the writer's room. Well, I wouldn't have cyber sex with Squire and Brian for 6 hours a day. I just wouldn't do it, folks. But you know who still is Godwinson. He's still
He betrays his own words there. Because he goes, do you know who still is? Like, he's just admitted to all of those things. Is he as retarded as Worski now? It's like, you know that slip up the other day? When he was talking about how he used to hang in Discord with other gay men, and then he went with gay men. And he made that Freudian slip of a century. Like, he's still doing these Freudian slips. These writers, make no doubt about it, were PPP's hand-selected writers that powered the Kino casino, that made this fat fuck enough money to turn himself into this. These writers ultimately are responsible for this. I know we had our moment of doubt where we took blame for this, but no. This ain't my doing, folks. There's a greater evil at play on that one. But we took PPP's writers to spite him, just as we have been doing on everything of late. And now we've cast them into the bin. And you know who's going to want them back? This fat fuck. Because his new writers of what? Kino Shea, Christorian X? And Worski's pay pigs like Metacamasochist? I don't think they got what it takes. It's a writer's room, even lesser IQ. It's a room temperature IQ writer's room the guy's got now. It's literally a step down from Brian's deranged ramblings in a Discord call. It's tough.
doing it. It's fucking wild. It's crazy.
Like, he's reading it. He's reading it. He's betrayed. He's fucking betrayed. The central tenet of the Kino Dogmate 2007, have you learned nothing? Was it all for naught? No scripts. Do it live. If you are going to have a script, don't fucking read it. Don't literally have the script in your fucking retard specs, in your literal Jim Sterling troon specs, reflected. This is his highest sin so far. This one genuinely hurts. Arrest him.
It's fucking wild. It's crazy.
That genuinely hurts. That he felt he had to write that down when it wasn't. That wasn't a good script to even write. There was nothing there. Imagine committing that to paper. That's truly shameful. No, for real. That is his highest crime that I've identified, to be honest. Reading a script. Who wrote this, people are saying? Like, who wrote this script here? Like, I imagine this one came from Kino.
But you know who still is Godwinson.
This one came from Kino.
It's fucking wild.
Maybe if I just read Kino's words, then it'll all happen. It'll all fall into place. Kino's the key to all this. The guy's the next Shakespeare. There's Kino's quill. It's tough. I wouldn't even have Kino write my fucking death speech. If I was on the scaffold, I wouldn't even have Kino write that one, I'm afraid. It's from the pen of Kino delivered by the greatest troon of our times. Let's go.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So Kino clearly wrote in caps, crazy, and Ashton had to perform that like a circus animal.
It's fucking wild. It's crazy. But I just...
Excellent work, Kino. True literary prowess on show there. The next Dickens. The next Dick Licker, more like.
Just gotta say, Adam, I just gotta say, the amount of gun guarding you've been doing and gun crease licking.
Poor guy's reading a script. Like, do people genuinely want me to go over Ashton literally reading a script on camera? Do people want this? Should I just go to Kino's Twitter and not have it performed by this abomination? This is quite fucked.
Say, Adam, I just gotta say, the amount of gun guarding you've been doing and gun crease licking you've been doing has handed me an eternal victory over you, my friend. You'll never get this one back.
I'm gonna take you on a trip down memory lane. You know when we used to come at Nick Fuentes and say he shit his pants? We used to interview his mom. Say he was the Mexican child leader of the white race. We also used to attack him on his gay, flamboyant hand movements that betrayed his sexuality. Let that sink in as I just play you this.
Has handed me an eternal victory over you, my friend. You'll never get...
What straight man? What straight man goes, my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend? He's been watching too much 90 Day Fiancé, what can I fucking say?
Has handed me an eternal victory over you, my friend.
Sus as fuck. Sus as fuck.
You'll never get this one back.
Kill Harry says, you slept at his house, Adam. I slept at Surfer's house that he was squatting in.
The shame of it all, to direct Persip, to blackmail Ollie Jamal into getting the house party back. The shame of it all for Persip to sit there and be like, oh, but Matthew Vickers, this and that. When Godwinson, you were the one who brought Mr. Vickers into the sphere in the first place against my advice.
I brought Mr. Vickers into this sphere in the first place against his advice. I promised I was going to tell you the story of Adam and PPP, of the PP Winson, how it rose and fell, and I'm going to do it. So he's just dropped a little lore detail there. And you know who can back me up on this one? An elderly Australian man, dying of dementia in a care home, who keeps going round and round in circles every time the nurse tries to give him some meds. Keeps saying the word, she's in hospice! She's in hospice! It's Ear Juice, folks. Ear Juice can actually back me up on this one. So, Mr. Vickers, let's just address that one. Mr. Vickers was literally an online presence way before I. Mr. Vickers was like ran a website called Abort the Retort, where he was posting details of his daughter every day and timing the drops every day, and doing other stuff as well. I was the first one to get the interview after trialing it with various other fake dads. It just so happened that I could get the real dad one time, and we did the interview. But I did so against Ashton's advice. I didn't do so against your advice. I actually froze you out of that one, Ashton. I got the interview. PPP wanted to be on it, and I said no. I said no. This one's not for you, pig. This one's for the king himself. This one's genuine internet history, and you ain't being a part of that one, bro. This is mine and mine alone. Now, it being mine came with a few fucking caveats. At the time, Phantom Organisation was the only person that was live streaming and stream sniping Ralph every night. He was doing it every fucking night until his body failed him. And so there was a platform there to do the interview on. I don't know OBS. I ain't gonna learn it. The knowledge of OBS is for literal insects, like Andy Warski. I ain't ever gonna learn OBS. So we had to take it to the Phantom Organisation's channel. And he was literally grifting off that. He grifted the mother's tears, folks. He was shilling his super chats as I was doing this interview with my phone against my ear. Truly fucked. And this is the bit of lore that might surprise you all. This was the first time that PPP properly snaked, by the way. He ran round in every Discord call he could possibly find, doxing me, saying I was evil, going completely off his meds. Because I did a show without the guy. Because I didn't want this fat lesbian bloviating, failing in his... He was always shit at interviews, by the way. And the Kino Casino has proved that. He asks a question that he then provides the answer to, that he delivers over 1 minute. That ain't a good interviewer. That's a bloviating retard. So yeah, he snaked me to Ear Juice, who recorded the call and sent it to me. That's what he did. And Ear Juice, even Ear Juice was like, this guy's a big fat baby. What the fuck's wrong with him? And you know who this guy sent to do his bidding on that night after he snaked? After he realised what he'd done and snaked me to Ear Juice. That guy sent Perspicacity, his manservant, who he knew was homosexual right from the start. He sent him to mediate a call between me and PPP to build the bridge. All is forgiven. And I let that fall to the wayside, PPP. I just let that fall. Because you know what mattered the most? I had an apprentice of the 2007 Kino Dogme. That's what I had. But that's the law behind. I interviewed Mr. Vickers against PPP's advice, bro. I don't take your advice on a lot of things, and I certainly wasn't going to take it on that. Take PPP's advice, end up £500 with braids in your hair looking like a troon, in financial entanglings with Andy Warski, in thousands and thousands and thousands of Canadian dollars of debt. Take this guy's advice. You'll be a real winner.
The shame of it all. To go on.
Oh shit, is it Gahul's birthday? Happy birthday, Gahul. Happy 40th birthday, Gahul.
Ethan Ralph's show. To go on the kill stream. To be his gator. To be his Jenny. To suck his cock. To lick his crease and make him feel cool. As you dance like a fucking monkey. A monkey.
Like, he's just reading a script. I mean, he's reading a script that Kino has written for him. It's shameful.
To swat people. So that Ralph can make money to go after people's families. So you couldn't make any money. It's insane. Why, to jilt me? Way to light yourself on fire to own PPP, buddy. You're sitting there.
I don't know what lighting yourself on fire is, if it isn't recording yourself reading a Kino script. If that ain't lighting yourself on fire, I don't know what is, bro.
Ethan Ralph making him money. Watching gay black porn to own me? Is that what you think that owning me is?
Again, this is something I've seen Kino and a lot of Ashton's new writers running with. So the facts, let's establish the facts, because we're just being truthful tonight, for real. Like, I've got nothing to... There's genuinely no skeletons. The facts are that on Christmas Day, because they're both alienated from their own families, Ashton, Joel Parks, and Andy Pires sat for 12 hours watching interracial gay porn. They are the facts of the matter. And they put it on their Gumroad. They are the facts of the matter. For a show with Ralph, I showed Ralph what they did on Christmas Day. I said, look at them both watching gay porn. But the Kino cope that he's written down on his script for Ashton to read is that this was all a long-term gay op from Ashton and Andy. That on Christmas Day, Year of Our Lord 2022, when they sat and watched black gay porn for 12 hours, that it was just a long gay op because they knew that I'd go on Ralph's show and play 2-3 minutes of them watching it. And therefore that makes me the person that sat there on Christmas Day and did that. This is your mind on Gator. This is your mind on Kino This is your mind on Christorian X, folks, and it's tough. But they're the facts of the matter. But let's hear him out. Let's go. Let's hear Kino out through his puppet.
To own me? Is that what you think that owning me is? No wonder you sit in the Discord 6 hours a day. And we know that it's true because Asa told us. Asa tells all. Said that all of you guys, Brian, Asa, Squire, Persip, you, Adam, and Surfer, literally
and Surfer? No. Those calls that you spent at least a good year of every single day of your life participating in for at least 6 hours a day comprise a writer's room of Blackface Kermit, Perspicacity, Brian Dunn, the Squire of Gothos. I thought I'd make it less gay by bringing in Asa, the king of old. And the interplay between Brian and Asa was something to truly behold. That was superb. But between all of those guys, the only one that was jobless enough to join every single call, the only one that was unemployed enough, literally at home eating themselves to death, shivering in a cabin, crying about how Andy Warski isn't replying to their DMs. The only one that didn't work a job or have anything going on was the fat caterpillar himself. Even the gay, even the uphill gardener himself, Perspicacity, even he works a job. Brian Dunn has kids. Asa has kids. Blackface Kermit's got shit going on and works a job. The Squire works a job and has his own money. But this guy is going to pretend that he wasn't the first ticket holder at every single Discord call that there ever was, and didn't use that writer's room to further line his own belly, to make a nickel and a dime for him and Andy Warski. Okay. Uphill Gardeners, yeah, fudge packer. Proprietor of chocolate factory. I don't know. Euphemisms for being perspicacity. Great list of them.
Sit in a Discord server 6 hours a day and cry about me. An obsession with me. Very unhealthy, very fucked up there, guys. Maybe go to therapy for real, instead of doing gay fucking circle jerks on camera. But let's just talk about the writer's room, because birds of a feather truly do flock together. And Adam, if you continue to stay in a room, let's just analyze it for a second.
What he was going to say there, before he calls himself in a Freudian slip, was, Adam, if you continue to be in that writer's room, you'll be a gay fat troon like me. And you know what? That's the advice I'm going to take from you, PPP. The one good bit of advice I've ever received from you. And you're right. That's why your writers are in the bin. That's why, bro. And you know what? I'm listening. But here we go. He's going to explain the inner workings of that writer's room.
Perspicacity. Homosexual.
He brought Perspicacity in, by the way. Do you know why he brought Perspicacity in? Knowing that he was a bummer. Knowing that he was a fucking bummer. Do you know why he brought him in? Because Perspicacity used to defend him on Kiwi farms. And that was enough to bring him in. Okay, PPP, he's your friend. He writes the show. Okay. He's got good ideas. Okay, that's fine. You know. As long as he doesn't bum me, that's fine. He's there for me. He's an emotional blanket for me. Okay. Whatever makes you sleep at night, bro. But perspicacity. For those that know the law, know that perspicacity, before it all went down and he became literally Padme, know that this guy used Percep for every single possible, conceivable way of sweeping it up.
Brian Dunn, confirmed homosexual, begging for outlines in Percep's furry belly.
Brian Dunn. Now, we all know Brian. Brian did didn't do a stream, did a call when he was, God, when was it? 26 something. Jim played it on air anyway, and it's Brian begging to see pictures of his friend's cock. Okay? It was quite disgraceful. But you know who knew that? when he brought him into the writer's room? When he sat there for hours and hours a day? You know, when he brought him in and knew all that, he knew all that. Just as he knew that Persepp was a confirmed homo. And you know why he brought Brian in? Because he was interviewing all of the past associates with Ralph back in the day. And he brought Brian Dunn in, knowing who he was, because he received the Godwinson briefing. But Ashton, it's Brian Dunn.
Ah, he's a good writer. He knows what he's doing.
But it's Brian Dunn.
No, he's a good guy. I love Bry. Bry's great.
But you know that, you've already got one homo. To have twos looks a bit...
No, it was just a gay moment. The guy's got kids.
Okay, whatever helps you sleep at night. Whatever helps you sleep at night. So that's two homos he brought in knowing... I don't know what Brian is. Brian's probably bi or something. I know he's got kids and he's got a family. And he seems pretty settled in that. But I don't know if, when he's going for work, maybe Grossley can tell us. I don't know if he's getting in his car, going to work and going to some parties with Persepp. I don't know.
Squire.
The assless chap.
Confirmed homosexual.
Squire confirmed homosexual. Now, Squire was actually a guy that I brought in. And Squire ain't a gay. Squire ain't go gay. I brought in Squire after Squire wrote a massive effort post on Kiwi Farms, exposing who Mr. Vickers was and is, kicking off quite literally the Faith Vickers arc in style. So I brought Squire in. That was a Godwinson edition. And he ain't gay. But the two that Ashton brought in have questionable gay histories. And let's be real, even Persepp, by the way, even Persepp has fucked more women than Ashton. It's tough. But Squire is a confirmed gay. I don't know where that's coming from, but okay. Who's next?
Okay. Asa, 57-year-old neckbeard homosexual.
So I brought in Asa. Asa was a Godwinson addition to the writer's room. And Asa has like 5 kids. He's been married for 17 years. Like he's an old school king. It's Asa fucking Yeri. But apparently Asa Yeri's a homosexual as well. Okay. Let's continue.
Okay. Sitting in there, Surfer, unrequited homosexual lover of...
Surfer? Surfer was never in... He ain't... I've never been in that writer's room and seen Surfer. Maybe he's in there now. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in there. But maybe Surfer's in there. Surfer very well might be gay. Something must have happened for him to put up with your shit for as long as he did. You squatting in his house and literally cleaning up after you. Like you're his fat wife. Surfer, okay. Let's say that Surfer's like Brian gay. Surfer's Brian gay, okay? Not Persepp gay. Not assless chaps and all that sort of shit gay. But Brian gay. Let's say Surfer's Brian gay. But you know whose addition that was to the writer's room? But that's if he is in there. Do you know who's responsible for that addition? Ashton. Are you seeing a common thread, by the way, with all of Ashton's additions being the actual homos? And all of my additions being honest family men? The Squire, Ace Salieri, Blackface Kermit. Maybe Godwinson was trying to tell you something, Ashton. Maybe Godwinson was trying to like give you a hint. Trying to say, look, bro, look, it's you don't surround yourself with queers and steers there, bro.
Literally sitting there listening to gay men gossip for hours a day.
The pain on his face as he says and describes everything that he used to do. And actually still does now. With Andy Warski, Kino Shaker, Historian X, and Metica Masochist, an actual troon. An actual Irish tranny was also in this guy's inner circle. Whoa. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him. We're halfway through, by the way.
Couldn't be me, pal. Couldn't be me. You go, oh, well, the writer's room is PP. No, Adam, from the beginning, the writer's room was your call, son. You were the one who said to me, oh, PPP, I can't be bothered to prep the shows. You know, it's...
This is just genuine, like... Obviously, psychological theory, it's armchair psychology to say projection, but this is quite literally is projection. Scheckelmeister says, tell the truth of what actually went down. I'll tell you the truth of what went down. Oh, we've got no cam stand. Fuck. So we're using a PS5 controller. I was the original writer. Me. I used to write PPP shows. And the good scripts, I take for my own. I was the writer. But I used to fuck off. I had to work a job. I had to... maybe we'll get into... It depends on what he gets into. But, you know, had to keep a woman, had to keep a house above my head. You know, stuff. Real life shit. So I wasn't there all the fucking time to write all of PPP's shows. He had to have some imagination himself. He had to, I don't know, either get a job and stop streaming every fucking day on Surfer's couch, or if he is going to do that, learn some talent. But I ain't around all the time. You know, stuff in the real world, this is a fantasy world, but stuff in the real world genuinely hits home. Bereavements. I mean, genuinely. I'm only, 27? But a lot of shit's happened in the real world in my life. Like, I'm not ill. I'm not like Jim, where I'm dying of every single illness and stuff. But just like you at home, if you are leaving your house in your mother's basement, life comes with strings and attachments, and you can't just be there all the fucking time on the internet in 6-hour calls with PPP prepping a show for him. So I come in and out. That's the way I've always done it. And those that have followed me for 10 years know that probably they can count a consistency of about 3 months of continuous content. The rest has been intermittent starts and stuff when life gets in the way. But PPP, I was his original writer, but I wasn't there. So PPP had to shop around for someone who could write a show. He looked on Kiwi Farms, he got Gay Persip in, plonked him in the writer's room. He got Brian in, plonked him in the writer's room. When I'd come back, I'd be like, this is gay. Let's get this guy that's not gay on Kiwi Farms. Let's counteract the homosexuality and place him alongside in this writer's room. That's the Squire, by the way. Then a few months later, let's get blackface Kermit in. You know, a legend of old on the periphery of all of the Kino Dogma 2007. All of the great snakelings of old. Let's bring him in. Let's fuck off for a year. Let's bring Asa in, an old idol. But the writer's room was Ashton's idea because he ain't got enough talent to make it on his own. So he has to ship in these people to write his shows for him. That's the reality of it. He ain't got what it takes. that's the reality of it. And those of you that know. 10 years, 11 years now. I say 10 years because it's easy to remember, but it's actually 11 years, 11 and a bit years I've been doing this. Those that know, a writer's room of homosexuals, that's a recent PPP edition, alas. That's all on this guy, unfortunately. Check the record.
Really need is just a room of guys who prep the shows for us. The show's ready, it's right in front of us, and then we just perform it.
Why would I need a show to be prepped for me every night? Why would I need a show to be prepped for me every night? I don't make money online. I don't promise a Kino Casino show with Andy Warski who does no prep. I don't have any reason for being here other than entertainment and showmanship. I've never streamed every single fucking day for 18 months on Surfer's Couch. I've never needed people to prep my show for me because I make a video when I feel it's needed, when I feel I have stuff to say, when there's genuine gold to pick apart and analyse. But here he is trying to, with his pig hoof, cast his sins onto me.
It was your idea. It was you who introduced Squire and Persip into the mix, and from the very beginning, they've been a shitty fucking influence.
Why would I introduce Persip into the mix, PPP? Why would I introduce a guy that literally blows smoke up your ass on Kiwi farms? Who literally proudly says that he's like your homosexual e-crush or some shit? Why would I bring that guy in? That has no net benefit to me at all. To watch you get filleted on calls with Persip. No net benefit to anyone other than yourself, because a gay man was inflating your ego. Like, check the record.
You know why? Because they're very negative. They're very negative for one, and they're gay. And what happens is, you don't think you're being influenced by their negativity, their bitterness, their homosexuality.
He's speaking from experience
but you
here.
subconsciously are.
So he's just made another Freudian slip. He says you don't think you're being subconsciously influenced by Persip and Brian's homosexuality, but you are. And you know what? He's seen it all. He's been there. He's been in that narm of the writer's room. And he's subconsciously taken on that homosexuality. Now, I want to tell you all and ask you all a question. How subconsciously do you think he's taken on this homosexuality? Because I don't think this is very subconscious. I think this is very overt. I think he's actively braiding his fucking hair. I think he's actively taking HRT to make his literal bitch tits jiggle with Dead or Alive 5 jiggle physics. I think he's lost his hair. I mean, subconsciously. Come on, bro.
And then the level of the content goes to shit. It goes into the toilet, my brother.
I'm glad you agree. Because the moment you started using that writer's room full time, you saddled up with Andy Warski and did the Kino Casino. It's nice to hear you say, I was right. It brings great joy to my heart, Ashton.
The utter fucking abyss into the trash that it's become. Where it's no longer projects that you're passionate about.
I mean, they are thrown in the trash, and they were done so a great many weeks before he said that. You know who didn't throw them into the trash, by the way, actively? Ashton didn't throw them into the trash. The homosexuals and the family men that bizarrely comprise that writer's room, they walked out on Ashton en masse. The writers actually fucking downed their pens and resigned. Ashton had no say. If he did have a say, they'd still be there now. Because he was never going to fire his support network that was helping him out of that freezing cabin. Me, I ain't much of a support network to a guy who's not going to help himself, to a guy who's going to be 500 pounds and grow and grow and grow in fatness. If they're not going to listen, I'll just fuck off for 6 months. Come back to a show, listen to his crying, and I'll fuck off for 6 months. But that support network, he wasn't going to fire them like I did. He was going to angrily DM each one of them that resigned, crying that, "You've betrayed me. You've betrayed me." And then begging them to come back. You know, as well, it worked on one of them. It worked on one of the writers. One of the writers, the gayest of all, Perspicacity. PPP's sob story worked on him. And when he snaked Andy Warski and said to Perspicacity, "Look, you're my brother, even though you're a bummer," which says it all really. "Let's do the Kino Casino together." And you can check the record, because I'm literally just telling you facts here. No embellishments on this one, for fuck's sake. He launches the new Kino Casino, the Kino Casino Halloween special, with his co-host Perspicacity. The mind fucking boggles, folks. Butt brothers, that's right. Bum buddies, that's right. But he went into business with Perspicacity when he snaked Andy Warski. But the guy was, I brought the guy in, like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, your lies are there for everyone to see. Everyone can just check the record. And it's not like we're going back into the fucking archives and blowing the dust off the tomes. No, we're looking back like 2 months. This happened 2 months ago. It's tough.
Instead, I think you're gonna sit there and watch gay black porn with these fucking jilted lovers 6 fucking hours a day.
This guy watched 12 hours of gay black porn with Andy Warski on Christmas Day, filmed himself doing it, and then he put it behind a gum road. I took 3 minutes of that clip to Ralph to do a show with him, of them watching the gay black porn. And Kino Shay and him think it's a massive gay op. That they tricked me into watching a 3-minute clip of them doing it with Ralph. And that makes them a winner. And this is the face of a winner. There's gaslighting. And then there's this. As a matter of fact, it was you, Xander.
Instead of making Voshmas like you promised. And why won't you make Voshmas? 1, because you're a coward. Okay? You're afraid. You know that if you go after Father Vosh, there'll probably be consequences. You'll probably lose your inheritance there, bud. You'll get cut off by your tribe.
Just the deranged ramblings of that very sentence. Full disclosure, I am not related to Vaush. Vaush does not bear my family name or any of my family's wealth. My inheritance isn't tied to Vaush. Lots of people want me to do Vaushmas. And they have been wanting me to do that for 6 years. The meme has always been Vaushmas. We used to do Vaushmas with PPP. The reality of Vaushmas is, Vaush is a big fat pedophile who sits on Twitch debating other big fat pedophiles. And he's boring. He's really fucking boring, folks. And I don't see Vaush as a political arbiter, or even as a moral arbiter of anything in society. Even the mainstream people look at Vaush and see a fat gay pedophile. If you're working at CNN or NBC, if you voted Hillary, if she's for you and me, you look at Vaush, you don't see the ultimate embodiment of all your values, of how you're going to push this stuff in the mainstream. No, you see a fat gay pedophile. But in PPP's mind, Vaush Vouch is holding the puppet strings, and we can't call Vouch a fat gay pedophile without feeling those consequences, without getting inheritances cut. Like, what? Is this your mind on Andy Warski or Kino or Gator? Like, what is this, bro?
Of conservative values or Christianity. You're an atheist socialist, bud.
I'm an atheist socialist. Look, full disclosure, I'm probably left-leaning. You know, when I see poor people, I go, you know, that's pretty fucking tough for them. But I know that I am that purely because I've never walked in their shoes. Purely because I don't know how much of a scumbag they actually are. Because I don't want to know. I don't make eye contact, I go not today, and I walk on with my life. So my detachment probably makes me slightly left-leaning. I'm an atheist? No. Christ is king. But, you know, that's it really. I can't say I'm that political. There's too much shit going on. I think in the past, I was more political, or I certainly had more shits to give, folks. I had more shits to give. I maybe had hope and optimism. But the realities of life, who's got time to sit and fucking watch the news all day? Like, who has time to do that? Apart from NEETs and the unemployed. Who has time to sit there and form every nuance of their political ideology in order so that they're confidently prepped to debate some spurg on the internet? Only the unemployed have time to do that. But he's going to sit there and call me a socialist atheist. What is this, bro? What is this, bro? You're tied to Andy Warski. You've sold out any right-wing belief you ever had. You've literally sold away your grandfather's religion that you autistically took on the traits and copied. You took on your grandfather's identity as like this Christian preacher when you were no such thing. And you were exposed as an emperor with no clothes. You aren't a Christian. How you behave isn't Christian. Is it Christian to rack yourself up in so much fucking debt, to continue to do so, and then send all of the bills to your brother's address, like Ashton does? Ashton racks up thousands and thousands and thousands of gambling debts and sends them to Surface House. Is that a Christian act? Is that really a Christian act? I mean, that's scummy as fuck. But, you know, you're the embodiment of all of the fucking sins. Most especially gluttony, avarice, greed. But this is a Christian man, folks. And he knows Kino Shea's words aren't working as he's reading it aloud because his facial expressions betray that.
Confess to me that you're a nihilist. We all know what you are. You've even said publicly that you're a socialist. So the idea that you would ever go after Vosh or attack Glenn or any, it's bullshit.
I'm slightly left-leaning. But that doesn't mean I'm Vouch or a tanky or... I mean, Vouch is a fat gay pedophile. He's like 7 genders. Believes in that polyamory thing. The guy has no moral compass. If you have left-leaning traits from your background, from how you are, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're Joseph Stalin. Just as if you have slightly right-leaning traits, that don't mean you're Hitler. Only an autist thinks in those black and white categories. And That's the autist. Right there.
It was never coming. The whole thing was just like, oh, I promise that this is gonna come. Then you flag down your own channel so that people go, oh my god, PPP deprived us of Oshmas.
I flagged down my... How does one do that, PPP? How do you flag down your very own channel without having another channel to go to? Like, that's retarded. I had one channel. The channel went down. And the channel went down because when we did the Lady Rackets stream, we showed Nick Ricator's ass being pegged by a bottle. Then we showed Nick Risotto's wife's fucking behind and breasts or whatever the fuck in an orgy. Then the third thing was that we showed your splayed anus within the Fat Caterpillar video. And the channel got flagged down for nudity. That wasn't me flagging it down. That was YouTube saying enough is enough. But I flagged it down. I flag it all down. Like, it's retarded. It's just fully retarded. I never even accused people of... I never went, look, Ashton's taken the channel. No. No. It's my own idiocy. I didn't accuse a list of people. No, it's my own idiocy. So, you don't... If you fuck up, and you know you fucked up, you don't cast stones at everyone else to try and hide your fuck up. You just go... And you know what? You start a new channel. You do it all again. And you realise there's no great loss. Because you ain't making money from it. You're not using this as a crutch to not shiver in a cabin again. You're just doing it for fun.
He deprived us of Oshmas. It's sad. And I'll tell you something else, too. You know what else is sad?
Valentine's Day coming soon. Vouchter Sunday coming soon. St. Voucher's Day coming soon. 10 years, folks. Promise everything. Deliver nothing.
Hey, silly Harry. This guy is 57 years old. 57 years old. Trying to...
Now, Asa, I think he's like 46, 47, something like that. But Asa's 57 years old, okay.
Pretend like he's gonna become an internet celebrity again, so desperate for a crumb of clout that he goes into a sector that he has no fucking idea anything about.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Asa fucking invented this sector. Because you're a new Johnny-come-lately faggot. You don't recognise that the work Asa did, the work Just Keep That in Mind and War Corps and Armach 21, rest in peace, and all of these guys, Helsing 920. It was the proto-sector. Without these guys doing these videos, yelling at each other on camera, having feuds and beefs and casting out like personal details from their online friendships, you wouldn't have a fucking sector. You fool. You dumbass retard. There wouldn't be a sector. Asa doesn't know anything about this sector. Bro. Asa knows every fucking trick in the game about this sector. Asa didn't need a long briefing to come at your ass, bro. Asa didn't need to learn everything about this sector before he waded in. Asa used what he did in the past against a great litany of subjects over the past 14, 15 fucking years and just applied those methods to today. And they still fucking worked. Because Asa's new to this. Like, are you a retard? For real? Are you like a dumbass? Do you need to go back to school? Like, do you get it? Do you understand what's going on? Like, at all? But, you know, it doesn't know the sector. Like, Ace's only been around since 2007. You only joined this train in fucking late 2018 when you spread your ass, but okay.
Knows none of the lore, knows none of anything that's going on, doesn't even know about Ralph's revenge porn, jumps in to defend him. By the way, good job, Persip, Squire, Brian, Adam.
Well, you know, Does Asa need to know about Ralph's revenge porn to call another fat retard a retard? Like, if you see PPP being a retard, do you have to go, oh, look, Ethan Ralph's doing this, and then you can't criticize PPP? Is that really what you have to do? Or can you just look at another fat guy and go, this guy is a fat caterpillar, let's do a song? No, you need to be versed in chapter and verse on Ethan Ralph and realize that PPP's on a moral crusade. He's so different. He's better. He's a better man. I mean, look at him. Bro.
Just sacrificing this 57-year-old man to the wolves.
Sacrificing him to the wolves.
What's going on?
Asa fucking... Like, this guy really doesn't know shit. Asa was in the fucking weeds with the Irate Gamer Sucks blog. They were doxing him, his family, calling the schools of his kids. And that was back in 2011. But Asa didn't know what was going... Oh, you're bringing him into this, it's so evil. Are you a retard? Like, for real. The Irate Gamer Sucks blog.
On Kiwi Farms to run fucking gay op defense for you. I've seen this guy, Asa, in Godwinson's thread, legit effort post on Adam's defense for 14 hours straight.
Now, that's not something I agree with at all. Mainly because I actually can't access my thread because it's blocked in the UK. It 404s or whatever the fuck. So I've not actually been able to read my thread, unfortunately. But I've never, and Asa confirm this, I've never sent Asa into that thread. Asa does what he wants to do because he's an old man who has behaved this way since the dawn of time. I don't think anyone could order this man what to do. This is literal loose cannon, which is why he was brought in. Which is why he was brought into the roster. It's a loose cannon. Anything goes. It's fucking Asa Salieri. The guy's been around since 2007. I've never sent Asa Salieri in to write stuff in my thread that I can't read. That's retarded. You know who did, by the way, send his capo in to defend his honour in his own thread? It was PPP sending in Persip. Did so on many, many, many occasions. So again, we're in projection territory.
I swear to God, he started at like 7 fucking p.m. at night, and he didn't stop till 9:30 in the morning. Just embarrassing himself. Just opening himself up to the worst fucking actors possible. Humiliating himself. Why? To try and make a comeback in his 50s?
Asa making a comeback? Like, are you... It's hard. It's really difficult. Asa's been around since 2007. He don't need to make his name as an e-celebrity. He don't need a comeback. The guy's got everything he wants from the internet. And more. He's been doing it since 2007. I don't think... Or maybe it is. Maybe Ashton's deranged thoughts as he sat there pissing and crying, reading my thread. Maybe he's thinking that this guy is going to make it big by posting on the Kiwi Farms. It's Asa Salieri.
Asa, you never made it in your prime and you'll never make it now. You couldn't even make children who weren't fucking retarded, buddy. With your slatternly fucking wife. And before you fucking cry,
I mean, that's kind of low. That's pretty fucking low. I mean, that's literally attacking the guy's kids. That's kind of fucked. Like, attacking the guy's kids, who I think one of them does have a mental disability. But he's just come at the kid for no reason. Like, the kid's never made a Scorched Earth promo on PPP. I don't think the kid could do that. You know? But literally coming at the kids That's scummy behaviour. But that's Christian behaviour, is it, Ashton? It's a Christian behaviour there. Coming at like the disabled kids, that's fucked.
In your prime,
At least I'm there photoshopping smiles on them.
you never make it now. You couldn't even make children who weren't fucking retarded, buddy.
That's
With
fucked.
your slatternly
What a
fucking
thing to
life.
say.
And
I mean, catch yourself in that, bro. Don't try and hide your face out of shame. Catch yourself in what you've just said and just take a moment to go, whoa, did I just say that? Am I really that much of a fucked person to come at the guy's kids who've done nothing to me? Just catch yourself in that, bro.
before you fucking cry, just remember what you bitches said about Nick Rekieta's wife and about Nick Rekieta's children. Ooh, won't somebody call the fucking ambulance that PPP made fun of Ace's autism?
Nick Rekieta's wife is a literal hoe. She's like a slatternly hoe. She gets fucked by other men and tells us all on stream. Nick Rekieta's wife is content. Ace's children, one of them I've seen come on streams to hug their father before she goes to bed. The other two might be like running around in the background, being tended to by their mother. They aren't coming on stream and cutting promos or even participating in this sector. But Lady Rackets, Lady Rackets is a civilian, bros. She's just on the level of another guy's kids. Now, the jokes on Risotto's children by calling them the Shady Bunch isn't in any way a personal attack on those kids. That's a joke at the woman's expense for being a hoe. No one's going to sit there and do a promo on Risotto's children. No one's going to sit there and dox Risotto's kids. No one's going to sit there and come at them on a personal basis. No. Because that's fucked. That's genuinely fucked, bro. But you'll do it because you got nothing.
Fucking seed. The fact that Ace is a legitimate furry, and you just cover it up. You just cover up the fact that Asa got bum raped at a furry convention in front of his children.
So he didn't get bum raped at a furry convention in front of his children. The real story, what actually happened, was that Asa went to a furry convention. I think he had his pee-pee touched over his trousers by one of these fur fags, and Asa went, okay, I'm not going to this again. There was no bum rape. It was like, what do you call that? Is it minor sexual assault? It's something fucked anyway. But it was enough to make the man go no. But PPP has just said that he got bum raped in front of his children. What's this guy thinking about in the dark there? He's got some real graphic images in his mind. Real graphic images in his mind.
Oh, it's not fair for PPP to say that, but I can say whatever I want about him. Ooh, cry fucking more, bitches. You know what else I'll say? You guys will cover Adam, you will cover for Brian to the ends of the fucking earth. To the ends of...
There's not literal catalogues of evidence, PPP, of me saying I love Brian, like there is you. I love you, Brian. Brian, you're amazing. Just talk to me, Brian. Like there is you. You love Brian. You love Brian. But there we are. This guy loves Brian.
the earth. Why? Because he's blackmailing you? Because there's things you don't want Brian to reveal from the writer's room?
So what don't I want Brian to reveal? So this is what these guys know, and this is what PPP's alluding to. Let's do it. My girlfriend is pregnant. There's going to be a little Adam on the way. That's what they know. So there we are. But there we go, coming at the kids again. So there we go.
Why won't CIA logs, because listen, man, it happened. Me and you both know it happened. Persip knows it happened. Everybody knows it happens. Everybody knows Brian's fucking unhinged and fucking Looney Tunes. But it's some weird, like, gay love that they have for each other in the server, where they just sit there 6 hours a day sucking each other off. It's shameful to see, but birds of a feather flock together, Adam. And if you stay with these losers, you will always be a loser. And thank God I'm fucking free. Hallelujah, I'm free at last. Free at last, my brothers, free.
This is a free man. A free man.
Free at last. Now, I just want to touch...
And unlike Andy, I will not be smothering my son in the cradle. I won't be committing, what is it called, patricide. I'm not going to be killing my kid like Andy Jr. was murdered. My kid's going to be allowed to live and have a really nice life. They're going to have a really nice life, gilded life. Fortunately, this guy's not going to have kids. And, you know, it's kind of fucked, isn't it? Just when I think about it, just now. You've got a guy holding that over your head, saying that that's blackmail. You know, you've got a kid on the way. That's blackmail? To a real sick motherfucker. If you genuinely think that's blackmail and that's like a one-up on your enemy, I mean, that's a warped way of thinking. Truly.
On some of the stuff, some of the talking points that Godwinson's been using for the last 6 weeks, the last 2 months, he's been talking an awful lot about gym walkers. Ooh, the gym walker menace. They're amongst us, people pretending to be like Daddy Jim, people who base their whole personality around Daddy Jim, people who act like him and try and walk in his skin and be him. It's Gator's fault everything's so gay. It's Polyfrog's fault. It's Kinoshay's fault. It's... Do you know who the...
No, it's Jim's fault. Jim spawned this. Jim spawned the gym walkers. Jim enabled them all. Jim's legacy is Gator. And Polyfrog in Carl, the Carl guy.
Original Jim Walker was? It was Godwinson.
I'm the original Jim Walker, really? When has Jim ever gone on camera and done a video like this? I'm waiting. When has Jim ever done anything like I do here? He's never done that. Like, it's retarded. But I'm the Jim Walker. I'm going to conventions dressed as Jim like Gator?
Look at his videos. Look at his style.
Look at his videos. Look at his style. Look at me just being like Jim. Look, this is Jim. This is how Jim does it, isn't it? This is just Jim. This is just Jim.
It's a complete rip-off of Daddy Jim.
This is a rip-off of Daddy Jim. Look at my 4-star hat. Look at you just hearing my voice and not seeing me in motion. Look at me reading my cancer diagnoses. Look at me reading super chats for 4 hours on end. Look at me talking about... What does Jim talk about now? Mainstream news. Tim Pool. What? Anime. Look at me talking about anime. Dragon Ball Z. One Piece. Fist of the North Star. I'm Jim. This is what Jim always used to do. I'm the Jim Walker.
The faceless avatar talking about lol cows on various subjects with the detached nihilism and edgy humor and bullying Kiwi Farms.
Look, this is me talking about lol cows. In a detached way. Bullying people who can't defend themselves. Look at me, I'm an American 50-year-old man who's dying of cancer. In a 4-star hat, married to a Chinese. Like, come on.
For years you were a gym walker. For fuck's sake, Adam. Your whole disappearing routine and leaving, aside from the fact that you don't want to be disinherited by your family because you're a coward, will never make it on your own.
Whole disappearing routine and leaving. We have to work a job. Apparently I'm afraid of being disinherited by my... Bro, in my family, we receive our inheritance when we come of age. And it's called a trust. We don't have to wait for people to die and it don't get cut off, bro. You reach the age, the money's unlocked. So I'm past that age, by the way. So I don't need to fear being cut off, bro. I never had to fear being cut off. When it's in a trust, you fool, there's no fear of it being cut off because it's in a trust. It's like a family fund, bro. But, you know, he's never come from a family of any substance or worth. I mean, his own family are literal white trash who give him a rag on a stick for Christmas and laugh at him. They won't even give him the basic family compassion to allow the guy to not shiver to death in a frozen cabin. But he's going to lecture me on family values. Let's go.
What is a real man? Yeah. But it's because you've directly told this to me. You want to be like Jim. That's how Jim...
I want to be like... I wouldn't wish being Jim on my worst enemy. If the guy's got that list of illnesses that he read for 16 minutes, if that's in any way, shape or form true, I wouldn't wish that on my worst fucking enemy. You want to be a man dying of cancer. You told me that in private. If I wanted to be Jim, I'd behave like Jim. I'd be Gator. I'd be Carl. I'd be Paulie Frog 64. If I wanted to be Jim, I wouldn't do this. I'd read anime books. I'd marry a Chinese. I'd live in a dungeon of degenerate... Like, it's just retarded.
Jim does it. He maintains an aura of mystery. Oh, it's the aura of mystery. Oh, I'm just like Jim because I disappear for months at a time.
Does Jim maintain an aura of mystery? I don't think he does. I don't think he ever has. I think only the people that think he maintains an aura of mystery are these gym walkers that think he's like the Dark Lord of the internet. In my many gym streams, I've shown you that the guy is literally just a regular fucking guy, or used to behave in such a way. He'd do streams with his friends. He'd play games in Discord call or Skype calls with his friends. He'd dox himself. He'd give personal details of himself. Like, he wasn't a Dark Lord of the internet. There was no aura of mystery around Jim. He literally finger banged the Chinese on a live stream, folks. The Dark Lord mystery of... There's never been an aura of mystery around Jim. It's just retarded.
Oh, but meanwhile, with this deep love, this daddy relationship that you have with Jim, you have this deep-seated resentment because you don't have the level of critical respect or love or monetary compensation that Jim
Do you know what this is? This is a pandering to Jim because he wants Jim to get on board with his crusade against me. That's all this is. He's sucking Jim's cock. So Jim comes against me. Okay. Your army is a man dying of cancer. I think I can come to that challenge, bro. I think I can fight that one. But again, when you think like a gym walker, like Ashton does, you see Jim as the final boss and not just a regular Joe who's dying of cancer. You think that he's going to come in like your E-Daddy, like he has done before, and sweep it up for you. All it takes is just a tweet from Jim and you're going to make it. Just like, this is how he thinks. It's kind of fucked.
You wish that you were the leader of the sector. If only everybody had bowed to Godwinson, everything would be fucking wonderful and the content... Our cups...
Full disclosure, I do not wish to be, or never have I ever wished to be, the leader of the Sweetie Squad. Ever. I don't want to be that. I've never wanted to be the leader of the Sweetie Squad. I've never wanted people like Gator to idolise me and dress as me in public. No. Never wanted my audience to go out to anime conventions dressed as me. No. I've never commanded them to set up a chudbuds.lol based off a meme I fucked into the ground. No. I don't want that empire. I don't want that crown of thorns, I'm afraid.
would runneth over with content. But here's the thing. You had a chance in 2020 to face Jim head to head with your complaints, with your battle. And you know who led that fight instead of you? Me. I went face to face with him.
Okay. Full disclosure here. The Mr. Vickers interview that we denied PPP, that we took for our own, was a retaliation. That was the true reason behind it. It's because he froze me out of the gym stream and instead got Leo Pirate on to do it. He froze me out of that because I said, look, we've got a chance to have Jim on the show. Let's talk about the guy's DUIs. Let's show all of the pictures of Jim that have been around and ask him if this is him. Let's blindside the guy with the new Project 2 stuff and get him on and get him to answer these questions, to talk about his docs that had recently been posted on the Kiwi farms. Let's fucking do it, Ashton. He was all aboard. He was all aboard the train. Next thing I know, I come back from work, he's streaming with Jim and Leo Pirate. And he decides to go in on the new Project 2 stuff that we had nothing on. New Project 2 was purely designed as like a smokescreen to get Jim on so we could blindside him with the DUIs and the Chinese wife and all of this shit. That's the truth behind the whole thing. There was nothing in New Project 2. Check the record. It was all lies. It was all made up shit just to get Jim on the stream. We finally got him to address it. We had a show with Jim. And the guy does it with Leo Pirate. He goes earnest on the New Project 2 stuff, shows it to be all false and fake, lets Jim sweep it up, says that you're a hero of mine, Jim. You can check the record of the guy saying you're a hero of mine, Jim. You're amazing, Jim. I love you, Jim. And then Leo Pirate comes in and says Gamergate was the 9/11 of the internet. So my retaliation was freezing him out of the Vickers interview.
But here's the thing. You had a chance in 2020 to face Jim head to head with your complaints, with your battle.
I had a chance, did I, bro? So why didn't you get me on that stream? Why did we talk about it? Plan it all out. Literally have everything we were going to do to Jim. And then I come home from work and you're streaming with Jim and you're doing the New Project 2 stuff. And then he comes on a call with me afterwards and go, oh my God, I fucked up. We got to drop Leo Pirate. I fucked up. I should have just read the DUIs. I should have just listened to you, Godwinson, and brought you in. But I had a chance, apparently. Okay.
And you know who led that fight instead of you? Me. I went face to face with him. And Leo the bum pirate. Where the fuck were you? Imagine if you were the third man, how things might have changed, but you were scared. Because you're not a real man. Yeah.
What? I was scared. My memory is you pussied out, bitch. You pussied out. I had everything prepared. I wrote the fucking script. But you got scared. You got shook and decided to fillet Daddy Jim on air. He says that he led the fight. Go back and watch that new Project 2 stream with Daddy Jim and PPP and Leo Pirate. You will see who's telling the truth.
You're a fucking cowardly little bitch. Yeah. And guess what? Daddy Jim swept it up and stayed in charge. Because you didn't have the fucking balls to face it. If you're so much more talented than me, so much more eloquent, so much better, why didn't you step up? Why didn't you have the fucking pair
Just
of face?
blatant fucking lies. You did the show without me. You did the show without me and didn't bring me on when you were live. And then cried about it afterwards. And that show, where you've just lied to your audience saying that you brought the fight to Jim, you didn't. You filleted the guy. Leo Pirate brought the fight to Jim, and you stayed neutral. You sort of stayed back. Fucking check the record. Leo Pirate brought the fight to Jim. This fat fuck just stayed back, cowering in his boots, hoping that he'd skyrocket to e-celebrity and rake in super chats. That's what was in the back of his mind the whole time. It's become apparent.
Jim. If Jim's the root of all the cancer and the Jim walkers, that you are one. Come on, bro. It's fucking bullshit. You don't even have the balls to face fucking Josh Moon the following month, and then you sit from the sidelines.
Don't have the balls to face Josh Moon the following month? Like, I did a stream with Josh. Did a few streams with Josh, actually. Like, what's he talking about? But this guy, because he dropped the new Project 2 ball so fucking hard, he was fucking the ball on the touchline. He fucked it up. He had to double down because instead of reading aloud the Jim DUI docs and asking whether these pictures were Jim or not, to Jim's face, he tied his wagon to the new Project 2 stuff. And then he had to double down. And because there was nothing there, even Josh was able to go, look, there's nothing here. This is garbage. Let's bring PPP on and humiliate him. I had no inkling that he was going to go on with Josh. And literally, as he's live streaming with Josh, I jump on air and stream just as I'm streaming now and say that PPP's a retard for doing this. Check the record. This was me doing this to PPP back in, 2020? Whenever the fuck this all happened? I was there at the time criticising what PPP was doing, saying this was retarded. We should have just done the Jim DUI stream. What the fuck? Why are you going on about new Project 2? We knew why, because he was getting an audience by talking about new Project 2. He was being, more importantly to himself, invited onto shows to talk about new Project 2. He got to interact with e-celebs to talk about new Project 2. He got to hang out in a Discord with Dick Masterson, Nick Ricata, Spectre, all of these faggots. Because what he really wanted was to be in that crowd. And this was his way in.
Oh, you did a bad job, this, that. Well, why weren't you there? Why weren't you the man in the arena, Adam?
The arena.
It fell to me.
The arena.
Retarded Canadian lolcow.
This was the man in the arena, folks.
Berg to lead the crusade. Ooh.
You led no crusade. You led a fucking sick, twisted journey to Andy Warski. You led no crusade. You led a funeral march to Andy Warski and what you are now. That's what you led, bro. A fucking funeral march.
Pathetic, Adam. Let's be real. Let's talk about the grifting. Grift this, grift that. You notice how Adam's standard on who's a grifter and who isn't? It's just complete arbitrary bullshit.
Yeah. That's what it is, bro. If we want to talk about who's like... Look. It's been construed over the years by Gator and T-Clips that I hate money. No. I love money. No one in this world loves money more than I. I get to see a lot of it, get to spend a lot of it, get to earn a lot of it. Who the fuck doesn't like money? I also don't have a problem with people making money online. Have an eBay account. Sell stuff on Amazon or Gumtree or whatever the fuck you do. I don't even have a problem with people who make videos making money online. Never have. Don't really give a shit. What I have a problem with, and this is what it boils down to, if you're making videos online for money, if you've got a patron, if you've got people paying you super chats and stuff like that, your content gets kind of fucked. You kind of have to, if you're dependent on it to survive, you have to obey their requests. Otherwise, you don't get paid. It's been borne out by the PPP Warski grift arc of the Kino Casino. The fact that they keep going on Ethan Ralph and Nick Fuentes because there's people paying them, even though it's boring as fuck and there's nothing to do and the content is shit and they're afraid of going at new targets and new things. That's what the problem is. It's not a problem to earn money on the internet. It's a problem to dilute who you are and sell your audience out that you've built around an actual e-grifting stance, as PPP did. He was anti-e-grifting. There's a difference between grifting money on the internet and making money on the internet. Big difference. Grifting is a malicious, evil act where you're knowingly selling out your own audience to line your own pockets. That's the difference. To equate someone with a fucking Etsy store to what PPP and Warski are is disingenuous as fuck. But who's got a problem with me making money? Yep, I've got a problem with you being a lazy fuck who's shown no improvement. That's literally at your own the cost of your own health, turning yourself into this. Where you're grifting money for a sex tape that doesn't exist, that you fraudulently know doesn't exist, so you can review that? Yeah, I mean, I've got a problem with that, bro. That's grifting. That's fucked.
It's okay for Ralph to grift, apparently. It's okay for him to grift, and for America First to grift, and Fuentes to grift, and Cozy to grift. But it's not okay for Nick Rekieta to grift, or for me to make money?
It's not okay for me to make money, but it's okay for Nick to make money, and Ethan Ralph to make money, but not me.
It doesn't make any sense. The whole thing is pathetic. Godwinson...
Shall we spell it out for him? Okay. Ethan Ralph never built his audience off an e-grifting stance. Never literally built his reputation coming at e-grifters. Ethan Ralph was always straight up saying he was there for your money. He's white trash. He's there for your dollar. Nick Fuentes never started saying, I'm not here for your money. Nick Fuentes, since day one, has been reading super chats and doing all this shit. And all of the other faggots have been doing the same thing. PPP is a different case. PPP built his audience, built his brand, built his reputation, calling people e-grifters, saying that they were scum for doing so. PPP then became the worst e-grifter of all. He literally says he's grifting. I'm grifting today. I have nothing, I have no show, I'm just grifting. With Andy Warski. That's the big difference. Ethan Ralph never said he wasn't going to make money online. Never promised his audience he was going to get a real life job. Like you did. None of these other faggots sold themselves as something completely different to what they are now. They were all pretty much where they were going. The only two people I can think of are Jim and Ashton. But even those faggots and even Jim, and even Nick Fuentes and Ralph don't openly say they're grifting you. They don't say that their show is shit and they're grifting you. They at least pretend that step of the way. These two, Ashton and Andy, will say that. So that's the difference for.
Himself is the failed grifter. He wanted to make money with me. I knew he was too inconsistent and cowardly to actually take that stand with me, so I went with Worski, who somehow has more balls.
Like, shall we talk about this? So, I get a WhatsApp from Ashton. It's a rare fucking... I left him my personal number to WhatsApp me in the direst of circumstances. Literally, like, if shit's going down and you need some money, or you need something, you need to fly over and somewhere to stay, anything. If it really does get to the point where something happens and your life is completely fucked, you need to just text her. But it needs to be something really fucking important, or else you're not going to get it. Like, this is like bat signal tier, right? So I left him my personal number to use in the direst of circumstances. One night I come home, the WhatsApp is, it's over. I'm done. I'm thinking, this fat fuck's finally going to commit suicide. Right, so I activate the old network, I create a new Discord, I find his name, and I go on, and we have a call. The guy says, well, first of all, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Are you okay? The guy instantly, and this is when I knew things were like warped in his head. He goes, oh, the show's not going well with Andy. I was like, right. He's like, I'm going to fire Andy. He's gone to see a catfish in the south of, whatever it is, the American Deep South or some shit. He's left me on my own. I've got COVID. I've got no show. I'm going to fire him. Fuck this guy. Right. Okay. Is that it? He's like, yeah. And I need you to help me out. What do you need? I need you to do a show. I need you to be the new co-host. I said, first of all, I'm not going to be your co-host. We'll just be equal. We'll just be 50-50. And, you know, what do you need this for? Do you need us to get out of the hole? Have you got money? What is this? Do you want me to be full-time or anything like that? He was like, yeah, I'm going to fire Andy. It's over. It's done. Let's just work together and do this. I said, bro, I've got a job. I need to earn this much. I need to earn this much money, at the very least, to keep my lifestyle as it is. I need to do all of these things to keep this going. I can't just replace Andy Worski on a show I despise for your own mental well-being, so you don't kill yourself tonight. And he goes, look, I'm going to go away. I'm going to work it all out. I'm going to work out all the numbers. You're going to work out how it's going to work. And I said, yeah, bro, you do you. You do you. Jump on a call with him the next day. Hope he's okay. Hope he's not killed himself. He's actually come up with some crazy ideas. How he's going to rebrand this Kino casino. How he's going to start, like, a few things, really. He wanted to do like an IBS show on the Saturday where we just sat back and did debates or whatever. He was going to do it with Maoist Rebel News and some other guy he was feuding with at the time. A few things. I was like, oh God, this guy's really thought about it. This guy has like really thought about it. And he said, look, for the Gumroad stuff, could you do edited Godwinson videos for it? I said, right, okay, sure. How many do you need? And he was like, no, we're going to do this every night. We're going to do this all the time. It's going to be a full-time thing. So Ashton, I can't do this full-time. The only way I can do this full-time is if we make this sort of money. And because of the exposure of it, if we do take off, like, I won't have my job to fall back on. I likely won't be able to work that job. Working for like an MP at the time. So I'd need some sort of I'd need this to really take off or something. If that's what we're going to do, man. He goes, it'll all be fine. I've worked out the numbers. I've got it all worked out. I'm going to fire Worski tonight. You're going to fire him tonight? I'm going to fire him tonight. I've got this show on flamenco. Flamenco's a pedophile. I've got it all in this mega. It's all going to be fine. Persip's written the show. Squire, Persip, Brian, they've all got it together. I've got this show. We're going to fire Warski on air. This is what's going to happen. Right, okay. Yeah, let's fire Warski on air. Let's do this. And however the chips may fall. Like, I knew in my head I wasn't going to do a show with the guy forever. Continuously forever. It was like a pipe dream. But it was to stop him from killing himself that fucking night. So, we jump on this show. Warski sandbags the Fragmenko takedown. It's a wet fart. At the end of it, he goes, PPP goes, oh, I really liked the three of you, the three of us together. We did a really good show. Right? I said, I'm not going to be a permanent co-host to Andy Warski because you're friends again. Warski is not in the equation on this one. And then he was like, I'm going to fire Warski. I'm going to do it next time. Just come on, do a show with us again, and I'm going to do it next time. Now, full disclosure, the £500 I received was his show of good faith. Like, because I said, look, man, I'm not going to be full-time on this shit. This ain't gonna be how it goes down. I can only be full-time if I make all this money, and it's not going to happen, so let's just drop that full-time stuff. But fire Warski, that can only improve your show. Get rid of him and just go solo. Just do it solo. I'll do it for a bit, but I can't be there all the fucking time. I've got a real-life job to attend, bro. I've got things to pay for. But he was like, look, here's this money. It's real money, look. Here it is. Okay. So, you know, and then the chips fell where he actually didn't want to, he couldn't fire Warski, basically. He was like this prisoner trapped. And it all became apparent that this was like a fat lying snake. This is what he'd become now. So that was what PPP had become. That's the lore behind all of this shit. Anyway, let's persevere.
Has more balls to step into the arena. He stepped in there with Salt Poppy knowing that he was going to get knocked out and fucking humiliated. You couldn't even step to Mr. Medicare in a fucking internet debate. You sit here talking about how you're the real man. Woo, woo.
I'd done shows with Jim before. I did a show on Count Dankula with him. When Count Dankula used to stream, I did a show with Jim there. I did a show with the Kumite back in the day. I think I did a show on Warski Live with Jim back in the day. So I don't know what he's on about there.
Come on. Come the fuck on, Adam. You're a failed grifter who took my money. You took the blood money that you cry about. You took it. And
Yeah, I took the money. Because PPP, he gave me the money. And then after, like a week later, he was like, oh, can I have that back? I have nothing. The shows didn't do well with Andy and, I'm going to be penniless this month. Can I have it back? I said, no, you're not getting it back. I said, one, you've got to learn to be sensible with money. And two, you'll get it back when you drop Warski. Consider this to be a deposit. Consider this, you'll get it back when Warski's dead. Consider that to be a deposit, bro. But it's blood money now, and I didn't give it back.
confirms that you're a grifter, and I'm glad you took that.
You know what I spent the money on, by the way? It wasn't the whole thing, but it was enough. I spent the money on this very laptop I now A-log PPP with. You know this nice fucking laptop here? That's what I spent the money on. I thought it was going to be useful in the future to A-log this fat fuck. So that's what I spent the money on.
Because it shows what a fraud you are. That all the principles you preached for all those years were total fucking bullshit. And Persip took the blood money too. You all took the fucking blood money. Brian Dunn begged on his hands and knees for blood money, and I wouldn't even give him 1 red cent because he's not worth it. You understand? So I don't want to hear any bullshit.
I mean, I know the story behind that, and maybe it's for Brian to fucking say, or whatever the fuck. Like I say, there's no love lost between these writers. They're in the past, they're in the bin. I could give two shits. But, in fact, I could give two shits. So obviously Brian had been giving PPP money, like when PPP was freezing in the cabin and he was saying his sob stories. And then PPP asks Brian for, like, to come on that show that they did on Flagmenco when they had Persip on as well. When he was literally showing you the writer's room in full on that show there. And then PPP said, look, Brian, I'm going to pay you all that money back. You're going to have it all back. Just come on the show and I'll give it you all back and more. And then he never did that. He never gave him the money back that he borrowed when he was freezing to death in the cabin, and never gave him the money for appearing on the show. So that's kind of weird.
So he can make some money of his home and not have to fucking rely on his daddy's allowance. That's what's going on. Let's be honest. And let's face it, folks, the E-Daddy worship has to stop. Whether it's Jim, whether it's Godwinson, whether it's me or Sargon or whoever, Nick Fuentes.
No one worships PPP as an E-Daddy. How brain dead have you got to be to worship this guy as your E-Daddy? No one worships PPP as their E-Daddy. No one. No one at all. Nuh-uh. Not one person. Not one person looks at PPP and the content he makes and who he is and goes, I want to be that guy. No one. Nuh-uh. No one at all. Not one single voice.
We're just people. We're just men. Flawed.
Didn't sound convinced on that one, Ashton. You looked like a tranny. You are a troon. You ain't no man I recognize, bro.
Failed, imperfect people. But Godwinson is...
We're all imperfect. We're all failed, imperfect people, bro. One of us is 500 pounds, and it ain't me. It ain't me.
Put up on this fucking pedestal as though he's beyond reproach.
Godwinson is
put up on this fucking pedestal as though he's imperfect people. But Godwinson is put up on this fucking pedestal as though he's beyond reproach.
Godwinson's put up on this pedestal as though he's beyond reproach. I don't put myself on a pedestal. Other people do it for me, bro. I didn't put the crown on my head. Other people did it for me, bro. Didn't have to fake it till I made it, bro. Didn't have to fake it till I made it.
He's a god.
People worship Godwinson like he's a god. That's like...
The guy dropped out of college 5 times. He couldn't even...
Here we go. Yeah, I dropped out of college 5 times. I dropped out of college 5 times. I was young. Drugs. I was wild. Like, truly fucking wild. I was having a great time in my late teens, early 20s. I don't give a shit. Do you know what? Loving family, PPP. Something you don't have. Loving family. All will be okay. There's plenty of other things to do. Now, the 6th time, I thought I kind of better have to fucking do this. Time's kind of running out. We're not young forever. We can't just be me all the fucking time. We've got to get our shit together and sort things out. And you know what? I was long past PPP is long past the age I was, where I looked at myself in the mirror and went, I kind of have to get things sorted, get my shit together, start behaving in a proper way. So I did. New Manwinson. That's what you do when you're not This? Getting dreads in your hair? Isn't getting cornrows ain't getting your shit together, bro. It's becoming... This is like a nightmare situation. This is like DEFCON 5. They have executed Order 66 on your ass. But yeah, he dropped out of college 5 times. I've never been ashamed of that. Not one time. You learn from the experiences you had. If anything, it's a pretty fucking cool story. Not many people can do that. And to live to tell the tale. And live without any of the debt as well. Loving family.
Daddy Edge told him no. No, Adam, you won't be getting $1 million for the nightclub. And he cried to me for an hour and a half on Discord about it, in a very homosexual fashion.
I don't know what this is referring to. Basically, I was going to open a restaurant. I had it all figured out. This is what I was going to do. And I was working a job at the time where I was saving up to buy these premises to open a restaurant. To like do a nice restaurant and be like... I had it all figured out at the time. You know, I was young. And I was going to do it this way. I had it all figured out. It was just going to work. And I think that's what he's referring to be honest. So, yeah, that's what I was going to do. That's a high on coke at 5 a.m. idea. No comment.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And also, you don't need £1 million to open a restaurant. Okay, whatever. Fucking... These details, by the way, that he's remembered are quite bizarre.
It's very similar. I think the trauma from when Daddy Edge told him no from the nightclub. Please, Daddy, might I have 1 point?
It was never a nightclub. Why would I open a nightclub? It was like going to be a restaurant. Like, what a fool.
5 mil for a nightclub, Daddy?
5 mil? 5 mil for a nightclub? What am I buying? What nightclub is 5 mil? This is nuts, bro.
No. The trauma from that is being relived when I told him no on the grift. Please, PPP, might I...
Ashton, you are not of my bloodline. If you were of my bloodline, you'd have either been sent to an orphanage, an asylum, or aborted. You wouldn't have been allowed to exist the way you exist if you were of my bloodline. You are not, or ever will be, a relation of mine, and you are not my father. And any decisions that happen within my family are completely divorced from whatever you do or say online. But listen to the guy go. How bizarre.
Daddy, might I have some more? No. The trauma from that is being relived when I told him no on the grift.
This is... No, I'm sorry, Ashton, but no. Not even as an honorary member, not even as an adopted member of the family, you wouldn't get in, I'm afraid.
Please, PPP, might I take over the show that you built that's outshining me and sharing the spotlight? Because I'm jealous of you and I want to make money? No, you suck. I fucking hate you, I'm jilted, I'm gonna cry about it for 8 months.
This is a breakdown.
Gay.
He's having a breakdown.
And another thing too.
And he's going back to the Kino chase script. Everyone's just jealous, don't forget. Everyone's just jealous of PPP making a minimum wage income online and debasing himself for the pleasure. Everyone's jealous of that.
Godwinson's always on his fucking high horse. This is real art, and I'm an artiste.
I am an artist, and this is real art. There's more artistry in this. There's more truth in this. I don't need a script. I'm able to be a showman. I'm able to actually give a coherent talking point and say the truth, because the power of the truth sets you free. PPP. There's no artistry in reading aloud Kino Shay's thing, having mental breakdowns, and then going back to Kino Shay's words in order to try and right the ship.
Oh, look at my art. Oh, this is so spectacular. Buddy, this is the fucking sector. This is
the sector. Only steers and queers call this the sector. It's not the sector. There's no fucking sector. To call it a sector is to formalize it as some sort of business, e-commerce, some sort of commercial arrangement. No, there's no sector. All of it is just bullying online, isn't it? That's what it really is. It's just a bully pit. That's what it really is. It's a hive of scumbags. That's what it really is. It's a sector.
Look at my art. Oh, this is so spectacular. Buddy, this is the fucking sector. This is
the sector, buddy.
Oh, this is so spectacular. Buddy, this is the fucking sector. This is the dirtiest, scummiest, most garbage fucking place. Oh.
It's not even the worst. It's not even the worst sector or the worst place online there is. Like, at all. Is it? It's just grown men screaming into their phone cameras, calling each other retards and autistic. That's what it is. And we're all aging out. We're all getting older, folks. We've all got shit going on that's gonna make us older as well. You know, there's nothing new here. It's been happening since the dawn of time. Asa was doing it back in the day, in 2007. War Corps, Army, all of these guys. There's nothing new here. It's not a brand new thing. And currently, it's not even the worst place online, is it? You know, on TikTok, I think they're pretty savage on TikTok. The kids on TikTok are pretty savage to each other over there. To the point where they're literally causing teenage girls to kill themselves. You know, but this is the hive of scum and villainy. Like, truly, this is the worst place on the internet. He's seen things you wouldn't believe. He's seen things you wouldn't believe. This is the sector.
Oh, look at my art. Oh, this is so spectacular. Buddy, this is the fucking sector. This is the dirtiest, scummiest, most garbage fucking place. Oh, you grifted the sector. How could you? Oh, let me clutch my fucking pearls. How could you degrade the sector? The sector deserves to be degraded. I come in the mouth of the sector and spit in its eye.
You hear that? Do you hear that? You hear that? Like, I mean, the sector is his own audience. He comes in the mouth of his own audience and spits in its eye. Do you know what? My audience, I like my audience. No issues with my audience. I don't hate them. Don't want to come in their faces and spit in their eyes. You know, this guy despises his audience.
Let me clutch my fucking pearls. How could you degrade the sector? The sector deserves to be degraded. I come in the mouth of the sector and spit in its eye. Do you understand? This place doesn't deserve respect or art. It's a shit-flinging contest for retarded fucking monkeys and e-daddies. You mongoloid. I'm the real artist. Yeah, okay. It's like you'll be a real man one day, Adam.
This is a real man, by the way. A Jim Sterling cosplay with cornrows in his hair. This is a real man with literal bitch tits.
You'll tell your parents no one day, Adam. You'll go fucking get a job on your own one day, Adam, I'm sure. Oh, you can't say this stuff.
Get a job on my own. Let's address this one, okay? Yeah. My family at times have been able to get me fairly good jobs, like working for an MP. yeah, doing the comms there. Yeah, I've had a few roles where, you know, people who know people have got me the job or got me an interview there. It's what happens. That's what happens. But Ashton's no stranger to that, are you, Ashton? Because your dad got you every single security job back when you used to work. Can you believe it? Can you remember? Back when Ashton used to work, his dad got him all of his security jobs. Because his dad used to run the gangers or the agency or something of the security people. And so he used to get Ashton's security work. That's what a family does. But before, you know, and then he fell out with his dad and became this. Became what he is now. But yeah, to say that it's so... Oh shit, it's jumped ahead. But let's go back. Where are we?
Fucking place. Oh, you've grifted the sector. How could you? Oh, let me clutch my fucking pearls. How could you degrade the sector? The sector deserves to be...
Ashton Park's mall cop? No. So you know what he used to do? He used to sit in a box of like this cereal factory. He used to do like 12-hour shifts there. He wasn't allowed to move from this box, so he used to piss in bottles and put them in the fridge. He used to have like fast food deliveries sent to him all the fucking time. I don't care, Ashton. You know, you've revealed personal... You tried to hold my baby against me as blackmail. You're like totally fucked in the head, so I don't care about any of this. He used to like sit in this box. I know this because I used to visit him when I was over there for a month. He used to sit in this box of this gatehouse, letting them into this cereal factory. There was like this paedophile that used to change shifts with him, like this elderly paedophile called Ron or some shit. That was like just so fucked. This guy was like retardedly. Imagine a paedophile. This was who PPP was like sharing that box with. He'd relieve him from the shifts or whatever. And PPP would store the fucking piss bottles in the fridge there. And whilst he was in the box, he used to watch Ralph streams. He used to watch fucking streams going on. I said to him, this is no way to fucking live, bro. This ain't no way to earn a living, bro. But it got him... I mean, Surfer can confirm all this shit. Like, don't just take my word. There's always people here. And he snaked everyone that they are actually happy to confirm all of the personal details. And you know what? He couldn't even hold that job down. He actually got fired from that job. Can you imagine getting fired from something where you've got zero supervision? The only contact you have with the other workforce is a paedophile who... And, you know, you're allowed to literally piss in bottles and have as many fucking food deliveries to that booth as you possibly fucking can. And you still get fired from that job, even when your dad runs the fucking agency? Can you imagine, folks?
Degraded. I come in the mouth of the sector and spit in its eye. Do you understand? This place doesn't deserve respect or art. It's a shit-flinging contest for retarded fucking monkeys and e-daddies. You mongoloid. I'm the real artist. Yeah, okay. It's like you'll be a real man one day, Adam. You'll tell your parents no one day, Adam. You'll go fucking get a job on your own one day, Adam, I'm sure. Oh, you can't say this stuff. Oh, but everything with your past is on limits to me. Woo. Suck my fucking cock, dude. For real. Get out of here with your pretentious bullshit. You know, in conclusion of all of this, I thought it'd be fitting for this eulogy to dress up in the traditional costume.
Oh, sorry, is he dressing up? I didn't realise he was dressing up. I thought it was just him. Well, this is the real face of PPP now, isn't it? Let's be real. Is he dressing up? I press X to doubt. I think this is the guy naked, isn't it? This is the guy dressing up. I don't think he's dressing up. I think we're mask off, quite frankly.
Of Godwinson's ancestors, of his reptilian elite...
Like he's reading Kino Shay's script. The eyeline is so fucking off. Like, that's fucked. You'd think, right, I've just got this, like, Hasidic Jew costume. It writes itself. I can just perform without reading Kino Shay's words. He can't do this shit. He just can't do it anymore, folks.
family. I thought it'd be comforting for him, for me to give him final closing thoughts here, dressed up in something that'd make him feel comfortable. So, I just wanted to reiterate the closing.
I mean, he says he's dressed up. I don't think he's dressed up, is he? Is he? I don't know. Maybe it's my eyes, but I can't really spot the difference. Can you?
Points here. Core takeaway. Adam Edge is 4 things. He's a coward. He's a traitor. He's
I'm a traitor. That's rich, bro. You're gonna fire the T slur at me now. It's the traitor and the tard for a reason, bro. Check yourself. Check yourself.
trust fund baby, and he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit, folks. And he's not a real man. Yeah.
So again, he's listed 5 things. He's listed 5 things on his 4 things thing. Warski's really... Remember when they did it before, him and Warski? When they doxed me and, like, my bank accounts or whatever the fuck? And they go, Adam is 4 things. And Ashton does 4 things, and Warski goes 3 things because he's retarded. I remember, so you don't have to.
Well, folks, let's just dab on him. Let's dab on him. Let's take the dub here. He's buried. Let's forget about this motherfucker. Let's move on. It's time for us.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's sweep it up. Nothing to see here. Let's dab on him. Let's forget about him. Let's move on. I'm not going to let you. Nuh-uh. That I got this is enough of a win for any man. But that cabin beckons. It's gonna be cold, bro. And I ain't heard no bell.
It's all to move on. It's the healthy thing to have happen. But I'm sure the Jilted Lover Squad on Discord will continue to seethe and cope for years, if not decades to come. But I buried him dead, and I've had enough. And I'm dabbing on their motherfucking grave there, folks. Dabbing on them. Woo! Let's party. Let's call it a day.
God. It must have been tough for PPP to cover his mouth with that fake beard. Must have been real tough. I don't think that mouth likes to be closed. I think that mouth likes a constant inflow of traffic. Whether that be burgers, cocks, or just bullshit spewing out of it. That's for real. But we've got 3 minutes left of this.
There's only one thing that we can count on in this world. And that's that one day, everything ends. Everything. It'll reach a heyday, and then it will die and reduce back to the soil from which it was originated. And no matter what e-celebrity you're watching now and thinking, that's a hot take, remember that there's a cemetery full of old faces from the past. And it's a cemetery that already has graves dug for your Nick Fuentes, your Stefan Molyneux, your Coach Redpill, your Ralph, and even your Godwinson. Nothing lasts forever.
That's true. Like, that's a video from like 7 years ago now. And I stand by that. Is that an own? To say that nothing lasts forever? Say that PPP, you're a mortal man. You're very mortal, in fact. You'll die sooner than I will, trust me. And I'll be there to piss on your grave. I will, and you know that. But to say that we're all mortal, all false idols, that's true. That's true. There's graves dug for everyone. Now, in that list there, we listed one guy that did die recently, and that was Coach Redpill. Got fucking beheaded in Ukraine. Head found on the fucking Ukrainian border with Russia. His body, like, buried miles away in a shallow grave. So already Godwinson's words have proved correct. But let's see how he ends this. We've got the old PPP intro that Kraut made for him in Goodwill. Kraut despises him now, but let's see where we go with this.
There's a voice keeps on calling me.
Look at this, the old PPP. The old PPP. Look, there we all are, look. Look, there we all are. The old PPP.
Down the road, that's where I'll always be. Never stop.
And even then, like, this guy's like a skeleton compared to the guy we see now.
I'll make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone.
Guest star surfer, like the guy's brother. Does he feel any cognitive dissonance when he uses this intro? Does he not go, oh fuck, I really fucked up bad. Everyone in this intro I've snaked, I've betrayed. And the person I am in this intro, I no longer recognise. I'm like a fat Majin Buu now. A monster. A fat snake.
Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Like,
Settle down. Until
look, the guy has a beard there. The guy doesn't have enough testosterone in him anymore to have a beard. You know, like, this is a different person, isn't it? A different man. An actual man. This is before the transition.
tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
And even there in the intro, it's written by me. Written by me. The PPP, the Golden Age PPP, written by me. I produced it all. I was the writer before he brought this fucking gay writer's room in to write it. And then he trooned out.
Till tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you want to join me for a while.
Look, when he could actually move around and dance.
So if
He can't do that anymore.
me for
Like, he can't do this anymore.
just grab your hat, we'll travel like that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Is there anything on the end of this, or is it just... Oh, it's just a...
Unconsciously.
So that's it. Yeah. Rest in peace, PPP. You know, that was weak sauce, bro. Real weak sauce. But maybe I can be told by Kino, Shea, and Gator that it was... That was a failed... That failed incompetent fucking of the ball takedown. The swinging at the kinging and miss from PPP was actually a masterful gay op to get Godwinson to make this video. So PPP could make a promo on a beach with cornrows in his hair. Maybe that's the take on this, but I got a funny feeling it ain't gonna be. I got a funny feeling that he ain't got what it takes. And he never did. That's the best the guy had. 7 months that took. 7 months that took. Let's not forget the times he's come at me anyway and completely fucked up. But this was his silver bullet. He'd written this in his Discord with Kino, Shea, Christorian X. He'd even flown out, got cornrows in his hair and wandered on a beach. He even stood there digging a grave on the beach, while people on that beach were wondering, what the fuck's that whale doing? Why does it have legs? That was all he had. Round of applause for Kino Shea for writing that script for it. Round of applause. Round of applause to Andy Warski for giving my friend lessons an education there. And he's really showing the fruits of that learning. That's really on full display. Round of applause to Jim Sterling for showing the way of how Ashton can complete his transition as an unconvincing female. Round of applause on that one for shipping the HRT to Ashton so he can have those swinging bitch tits. Round of applause there. Another round of applause goes out to Ashton's dad. Round of applause to Ashton's dad. For finally, in that drunken alcoholic rage, striking your son and getting him so traumatized he doesn't even want to come back in his hour of need. Round of applause to Ashton's dad for hitting his own son and causing him to have PTSD. Round of applause, honorary mention this, round of applause to autism. Autism, big up. Lifetime Achievement Award. Round of applause. The autism of Ashton on full show there. And you know what? Without autism, none of this would be possible. Another round of applause goes out to Daddy Jim. Your legacy in full show. Even Ashton is trying to claw you up from your grave. Round of applause to Jim. He's trying to resurrect you to try and swing at the king. He thinks if he fillets you enough, you will. Go for it. I'm ready. I'd like a war with Jim. So round of applause there. Round of applause to Gator. Without his crazy bullshit shenanigans and his theorizing in the darkness, Kino wouldn't have been inspired enough to put all this together. Round of applause there. Round of applause to Snacks. Round of applause to Snacks, the leather-clawed 40-year-old woman that sends PPP packages in the mail. DS's, Switches, food mainly, lots of food. Order of the 9 Angles paraphernalia. Round of applause to Snacks for sending that in the mail. Round of applause to the Irish tranny for being the first of what I assume is many Discord trannies that PPP has had sex with. I say sex, virtual sex with. Round of applause to her there, or it. And one final round of applause. Round of applause, biggest clap of all. Round of applause to me. Rest in piss, Ashton.